everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of the Xbox True Achievements Discord Hall of Gamers podcast.
Thank you.
This week, we're joined once again by Shane from Magic Cast. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me back. Excited to be here.
Yeah, no, we're excited to have you. We've got a lot to talk about this week. We're gonna talk about being cheesy, which, you know, as listeners will well know, comes pretty naturally to us. About joining the Xbox family and actually doing something good for a change. But first, Cameron is going to transition us to a song of the week that's going to work flawlessly, and I'm not going to have to edit this part.
I mean, it should be fun.
I played it almost every night. When the bosses get in my side, it's a high-tech robot Souls-like. Everybody's putting up a big fight. Every enemy is out of sight. They don't stop and they will strike. They keep me alert, looking left and right. Everybody's putting up a big fight, putting up a big fight. All the bodies falling to my might. It's such a tough Souls-like. Everybody's putting up a big fight.
Great singing like always, Matt.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's after the lambasting that I got last week from you and Charlotte for my
no, look. You sing well, but Charlotte sings better.
Oh, I mean, she does. She absolutely does. She's the voice of an angel. I'm more like an angel after a couple of drinks had fallen down a flight of stairs. But, you know, I mean, okay, let's... Proof's in the pudding. Do you guys know what the song is?
I'll let Shane go.
To settle this dispute, we need a lips sing-off, I think.
No. Stop giving Cameron ideas. He keeps adding things to the document.
Where's my...
Yeah, no.
I could grab them.
Where are the glowing microphones at? I think I know it. I don't know the artist, but is the song "Dancing in the Moonlight"? Is that the title?
Okay, it is "Dancing in the Moonlight." Yes, it is by King Harvest, and I'm pretty sure that's the only song they ever did.
One hit wonder. There you go.
They did a song called "Dancing in the Moonlight 2" as well, just to give you an idea of how much of a one hit wonder that song was. But Cameron, I assume you got it as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, I'm pretty.
I can't think of any other songs that have that kind of.
Like no, it's got a very iconic sort of beat to it. I was just listening to it on Spotify and thought, actually, this would make a good song of the week when I wrote it in the last couple of hours, like I usually do. I have a whole week to do it, and I never do.
I like that. Like, I got off my job interview, and then immediately checked the chat, and the song of the week was already there, and I'm like, he's trying to hurry me along today, isn't he? What is
this?
It's
a little bit. Oh, look, I was just being prepared, for a change. I figured, we'd try and get ahead of it. Charlotte's not here to keep us in line, so...
A marketer sending something over early and not at the final hurdle?
I mean, look, I'm moving jobs. I'm going to be unemployed for a whole day, It's going to be like I think things are nuts. But yes, also I should say that Charlotte is not joining us this week. She is ill. Potentially COVID. She's a bit worried about, so we send her our best wishes. She is in the chat.
I'm very disappointed that you didn't say down with the sickness.
I mean, well, I don't think she's down with the sickness. I'm not. I don't think she's a huge fan.
What, you're saying she's faking?
No, I think she's just trying to breathe. Exactly.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I also want to just quickly point out to Shane too, the females of the chat did misread your name as Cast as cats.
It's happened before.
I did have to add that on.
Magic cats. Yeah.
No worries.
Oh God. I mean, that's
what a show that would be.
I was going to say that's an April Fool's show right there, right? You're all showing up in the fursuits and just doing cat puns the whole time.
Yeah, I need to change, add that to my content calendar for my own Twitch channel. That's what will give me the views, I think. Magic cats.
This has just given me a wonderful idea. Yeah. So one of the first times I met an achievement hunting buddy that I talked to online, we went to, he lives in Melbourne. Yeah. He was the guy that won the Megathon back in 2016 at PAX.
Right.
He was the runner-up. I can't remember what year. He was the runner-up the year before, and then he got re-invited because the runner-ups get re-invited for the Megathon at PAX. He won the next year, and then I believe he went to PAX East.
Well, PAX West probably.
PAX West. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Anyway, the first time I met him in Melbourne was at Sunshine Marketplace. Dodgy's place to meet somebody. For whatever reason, they had a circus tent set up there. So we went to this circus. We went to see the circus tent. He's like, nah, I'll pay you for you. I've got you covered. It's all good. The next hour and a half was us watching trained cats go through hoops.
So your first date, you went and saw cats. That's
100%.
It's not the worst thing. I mean, like, it's memorable, right? Like, I don't have,
I mean, this is like, what, 4 years ago? So, yeah, it's definitely memorable. But sure. I'm just thinking, like, maybe this is the level of content that we need to either bring into this show or bring into Game on Cancer.
Just having trained cats. I feel like if you're going to do that, we maybe need to plan for the next one. Because I think there's like a level of training that we need to get for the cats. Because you can't just get any old cat and just be like, all right, cat, now I need you to do the tap dancing routine that we planned out. I've got my outfit. Do you have yours? And then they just kind of look at you. I feel like there's a few steps before you get to like, okay, here's trained cats doing things. But
I like the idea of exploiting these cats for fundraising purposes, though.
I mean, these people were fine with it already, so.
Yeah, the cats love it. You can tell how happy they are because they're
fulfilling their life purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Staying positive. That's the only one I'm doing. I'm not doing any more of them. Speaking of live streaming, we do this show on Twitch every week. Hall of Gamers Pod is the place to come hang out with us. You can come watch us do this live and see all the mistakes we make that I edit out. You can also interact in the chat, ask us questions. We've got Charlotte and my fiance Alison in the chat at the moment, just messaging up a storm. Keeping things lively. But again, come say hi. We always really appreciate it, and you get that fun interaction. And if you say something funny, you might see me break and laugh on camera. It does happen. I know Simone. That's usually Simone's goal from the Xbox Cast. Whenever she's watching, she's like, I want to try and say something funny to make them go off topic. Which
she's very good at that.
He's really good at that.
They need to start streaming again so we can do the exact same thing back.
Exactly. It's really unfair that they're not streaming anymore. They're just like, no. We're just going to do Discord so we can control it better. Just no. We're a bit more chaotic, I think. Speaking of chaos, let's get into having a chat with you, Shane. Tell us a little bit about yourself. For those who don't know, you were on the show a few months back, but for those who have missed out, tell us a little bit about your background, your gaming stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So I've like probably everyone who's listening and watching, I've been a gamer for most of my life, and I suppose lucky enough, to work in the games industry in a variety of different capacities. Most recently, I've taken a position as head of gaming at Cure Cancer, the cancer research charity based here in Australia. Very unique role that I'll happily speak to. But before that, I spent almost 6 years on the publisher side at Ubisoft Australia in a variety of marketing, communications, and esports roles. And then outside of that, also been doing my own podcast stuff on and off for many, many years. Worked in video game retail, what feels like a lifetime ago. So I've had my hand in the games industry in a variety of different ways. But at the moment, at Cure Cancer, head of gaming, essentially leading or spearheading their Game on Cancer initiative, which is our way of engaging the gaming community both locally here in Australia and globally to fundraise for cancer research. So our charity's been around for more than 50 years, helping fund early career cancer researchers. And that's really important because they need that funding to kickstart their career, to get their first research grant and actually start doing some research. Huge Xbox fan, as you can probably tell from my display behind me. And I haven't been playing a lot recently, but actually it's mostly been Halo Infinite multiplayer. Still, yes, I'm like one of 3 people, I'm sure, playing Halo Infinite still.
But based on the subreddit, there's a lot of people talking about it, but not so many people playing it. Apparently.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I still love it. It's lacking in content a bit at the moment, but it's still no less fun to play. So, huge Halo fan. What else have I been playing recently? Tunic, been diving into that a bit. I'm only an hour into Elden Ring. I've never played a Soulsborne game in my life. Ooh. So it's it's going to take me a lot to get back into it because I find it to be so punishing so far. But yeah, that's a very roundabout way of explaining, the type of gamer I am.
Cool. Cameron, you want to run through some stuff you got?
Yeah, so pretty much from that, I just wanted to say that with the Game on Cancer stuff, I've started implementing some stuff on stream today. So Nightbot has actually just posted a link to Tiltify. We are planning on doing a 12-hour stream on, when did I say, like May 7th?
Yeah, so about a month, about a month from now or so, roughly. With
some goals, including some very interesting stretch goals.
Oh boy, yeah. I'm
gonna have to check this out. I can't wait.
Oh, no.
I haven't added them in there yet, but I mean, if we get up high enough, actually,
the things that have been thrown around in the staff chat have been slightly worrying to read, especially because Cameron's like, okay, so Matt, you're going to be doing this, and not hey Matt, what do you want to do?
Look, I invited you for suggestions. I didn't say you have to do this.
Oh, look, this is like working in the games industry, and it's like, no, you don't have to work 50 to 60 hours. It's just it's just heavily implied that you need to do that. What are you talking about? Come on. But yes, I am. We're going to be doing a live stream. It'll be good fun actually. I think we're again, it's still in the planning phase. We've still got a lot to sort of sort out for it. But I'm actually very excited. It'll be a good time, and we're gonna raise some money and actually, like I said in the intro, actually do something good for a change. Which again, it won't counteract nearly any of the negativity that we brought into this universe from this podcast. But it might help a little bit.
No, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, it's we have a fundraising campaign at Game on Cancer coming up very soon. It's called Superhero Streamers. It's been running, well, this would be its third year, but the first year that I'm working on it directly. It kicks off April 28th, which is National Superhero Day, and it's going to run for 2 weeks. We're inviting any and all creators and streamers to sign up and fundraise for cancer research. The goal is $50,000, which will help fund 6 months of cancer research for one of our researchers. We see our cancer researchers as superheroes themselves. They're the ones actually doing life-saving work, which is incredible, but they just need funding. So we're bringing the gaming community together to fundraise from April 28th. Thank you both for being involved, and Cameron even more so, helping us out in a volunteer capacity as well. It's been absolutely amazing to have him help us on the team side of things. I'm really excited. I too am going to be doing my very first 12-hour live stream, so there'll be challenges for that. I think mine's scheduled for the 30th, Saturday the 30th of April. So
I kind of wanted to push it out to 24, but then I got told by these two, I was just like, it's too much.
Yeah, the longest stream I've done is like 3.5 hours. So.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
12's the natural next step.
Yeah, and the thing is, Cameron's the only one of us on the podcast that's under 30. He doesn't understand, I'm 30, Charlotte is 29 again. But it's real rough out there, and he's just like, oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna stay out I'll stay out for 40 hours. I'll just stream the whole time. I've got so many games to play.
I mean, the amount of times that you probably are in bed 10 o'clock, and I'm just like, oh, 3 a.m. Really already?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I need my beauty sleep clearly.
Okay, Charlotte's attacking me now. We also have full-time jobs. I'm trying. Can't you see how beautiful I am right now?
Yeah, sure. They're looking good. He's like I said at the beginning, he's looking employable, and I think that's as long as that carries over, I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I see someone in chat asking for more information. If you head to our website, gameoncancer.com.au, the very first hero banner at the top of the website should lead you to our Tiltify page where you can sign up and be a part of the campaign. I encourage you as well to join our Discord. The link to Discord is on the top of the website as well. We're all in there and helping each other out. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, post in Discord, or just DM me as well. So gameoncancer.com.au for more info.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for joining us, Shane. We really appreciate having you on.
No, it's my pleasure.
And just for that too, I've dropped the website and the Discord into the chat. And then if you want to support Cooler Gamers directly, ours is up just under the Nightbot one, just a few chats up.
And I'll put a link in the audio version for our listeners in the description if you guys want to check it out. All right. With that out of the way, let's get into what we got on the news. Cameron, what have you found for us this week?
Which one do you want to start off with? There was a very interesting topic about cheesing.
Let's save that for last because I want to have a bit of a discussion about that. Let's start with the Game Pass one.
I was going to say in that case then start with Spartacus, yeah. So
sure.
like Sony announced their Game Pass stopping service. Absolutely
sort of.
Amazing. Everybody signing up. I think.
Yeah, from what I've heard, yeah, absolutely. Everyone loves it. Everyone's like, this is definitely a comparable service, and good price point, and same amount of product. And PS3 emulation is the easiest thing that's ever happened.
Oh boy.
So yeah, Spartacus got announced.
Yeah, I was leaving this one till later because I don't want to just rip into Sony like straight away. But like, let's do it. Yeah.
It's the news, right? What are you gonna do? Shane, I'm assuming you've seen a little bit about this and.
I have, yeah. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of podcasts, so I haven't heard like the general sentiment around it. I've seen a bit on Twitter that it's a bit underwhelming. But based on the reports that we heard, I think going back to a few months ago with from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, and then more recently with Jeff Grubb at Adventure Beat, we knew it wasn't going to be a one-to-one direct competitor to Game Pass. Sony's, at least in the near term, never going to put their first-party games day and date in a subscription service.
They can't afford to, basically.
Oh yeah, that, and they're selling so well anyway. So why would they? I think like comparing it to Game Pass, it's kind of apples and oranges. But when what if you look at the subscription service that PlayStation have and the sub service that Xbox has, Game Pass takes the cake in almost every regard. But I'm keen to hear your thoughts because I don't think it's all bad. Like I think it's there are certainly positives here. The fact that PlayStation now no longer exists and it's just been consolidated under the PlayStation Plus banner, I think is it's the first strong step.
I feel weird about it. So like going from a price point, your Xbox Game Pass in the US is $10 monthly for just a PC or console. Yeah, Ultimate is $15. PlayStation Plus, which first side off the bat, the fact that they dropped the code name is already like, what the hell? Well, I really like Spartacus as a name. That's the only thing I know.
The code names are always cool.
Yeah, always cool. Yeah, exactly. I remember, was the GameCube used to be Dolphin.
That was the first
Project
thing.
Scorpio, that sounded amazing.
And Project Scarlet,
and then even Project Natal became Kinect.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they always sound cool.
But the thing is, it is. I think I pointed this out when we first talked about it when it first got leaked. But the fact that they called it Project Spartacus, when the most memorable scene of Spartacus is when everyone stands up and claims to be Spartacus when they're potentially copying what Game Pass has. Like, how did they not see that? Come on. Like, I mean, is that like an internal joke? I don't know. But, I mean, they were never going to keep it being called Spartacus. It's probably too much to deal with. You'd lose too much brand stuff. Although, Sony's Spartacus does have kind of a nice ring to it.
I feel like the fact that they've gone back to just PlayStation Plus is kind of just a con at this point.
I think actually like the names of the different tiers aren't great, to be honest.
No.
Like they're very similar to what you'd expect from like a Netflix or any other subscription service like that, like Essential, Extra, Premium. Like they're fine, but you've got trophies, the language built in anyway. So why not go Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum or something like that? Yeah. They might run into the issue of like Xbox Live Gold's thing, so they don't want that one-to-one comparison. But Gold is like kind of going away anyway.
They might have felt left out from the naming conventions that Xbox usually do and decide, all right, well, we need something that's just as awful. Xbox
right?
One,
Yes, like
Xbox Series X.
Just as confusing, and you have to have a flowchart to understand it. Yeah,
you're spot on there, Cameron, because they have such logical naming conventions for every single one of their products that this feels like the one that's like a bit weird.
Weird, yeah. So I wonder if they like fix it up as the line goes down. But price points: $10 monthly for PlayStation Plus, so pretty comparable there. $25 quarterly, $60 yearly as an essential plan. And then just depending on what other tiers there are, like $15 monthly, $40 quarterly, $100 for extra, and $18.50 and $120 for the yearly for premium.
Yeah. So I think the one interesting thing that I came away with, I think Jim Ryan did an interview with GamesIndustry.biz after the announcement, and he noted that the essential tier is essentially, no pun intended, PlayStation Plus as we know it today, right? Access to multiplayer, a couple of games each month for free. That's the one that Sony currently has like 50 million subscribers of. Like it's a huge, subscription base. And apparently he said in an interview that more than 2/3 of those people subscribe yearly. So 2/3 of them are paying $60 a year for that. So it feels like the $10 monthly subscription isn't much of a factor. Like if you are paying that, then why? You just
exactly.
You could save so much money paying yearly. But anyway, I think that was, to me, was like one of the more important things to note, that like 2/3 of the subscriber base currently are paying the yearly subscription.
Interesting from a marketing perspective too, because you can just swap it over and be like, 2/3 of our customers are already subscribed.
Yeah, that's actually, this is true. But I think the other thing is that like Microsoft has the similar stuff. Like they stopped selling the 1 month codes for gold, for the original gold, just because they were like,
right,
like who like outside of the odd person who needs it for, you know, like a double boxing session or something, or they need to, you know, give it to their kid to play on their other Xbox, so they'll leave them alone or whatever. But like most of the time it's like, people will buy a year subscription because it's like the savings is enough to just be like, well, even if I only use it for 6 months, it's cheaper than just going out and buying it each month when I need it, just to get it done. And I think that's kind of the mindset that Sony's tapping into, and like, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you're going to be playing it in any of these platforms in regularity, then you probably just want a yearly subscription and not have to worry about it.
Yep. So going down the line to premium online gaming access. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the comment was the other day. There's a few things I want to bring up. There's the cloud saves, first of all.
Yes.
Cloud saves, as I understand it, like, I'm not 100% across everything with Sony, but cloud saves are tied to the subscription, whereas Xbox is not.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
That's first major red flag to me.
Yeah, part of it I think was because they added cloud saves in later, whereas they've basically always been a thing on the Xbox One onwards.
Yeah, I've never been a fan to tying like what I feel are intrinsic features to a gaming experience to subscription. Like I remember back in the 360 days, like you needed a gold subscription just to use the YouTube app or the Netflix app or something like that. It was ridiculous. And up until recently, like you needed an Xbox Live Gold account to play free-to-play games, where on the PlayStation side you didn't. So thankfully that's not the case anymore. So the fact that the cloud storage is still tied to PlayStation Plus Essential is a bit of a bummer. I think the more important things with cloud saves is currently like the way you need to upload your saves, every single time is a pain. Like the joy I get just from being able to, automatically sync my game save on PC if I want to pick up Tunic on this side, but then, go over and play it on the Xbox later. Like it does it in like 3 seconds without me needing to do anything. And the fact that it's not tied to a subscription is amazing.
It's funny with that, like, because like smart delivery back, like when it was announced, was just a marketing term, like it's such a stupid idea. Why would anybody be across it? And then we had, how many games have we had? Like Avengers. I know.
Yeah, there's been quite a few
notable problems. I'm trying to think of the others on Sony's side.
I feel like Cyberpunk maybe.
Possibly.
That had more problems than just cloud saves.
Yeah, I was going to say, they pulled that from the store, so hey,
I know it's not Sony, but I know even like Tiny Tina at the moment is apparently having cloud save issues on Epic. And it's like, it feels to me that Microsoft is the only one that has got it right from day one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I guess so. I mean, I'm sure they've had hurdles in the past as well. It's just they weren't as visible. But, I mean, as a comparable service, like, are we, if you had a PlayStation, would you subscribe to this? I guess is more the question, right? Like, would you... Does this provide enough value to you?
I think on the Essential... This is the problem, yeah? Where's the cloud streaming come in? $15 a month on that tier.
Yeah.
I'd be very... No, I guess I wouldn't be torn. I'd go Essential for their version of Games of Gold, because usually they do have some pretty good... Like, for $10 a month, it is worth it. I would probably just...
Yeah, they usually have, like, a really exciting game each month. Like, either something new or something high profile.
High profile. That's probably the best word for it, high profile. Because, like, I'll see this month's Games of Gold, and I'll be like, cool, these are games that I don't own, and I always love checking out indies. But at the same time, like, when PlayStation's getting Battlefield Bikini Bottom rehydrated, and I'm getting a game that I've had to like look up on YouTube to actually get some information about. It's not really comparable.
But they had some great like day one. I think they were day one drops or shortly after, things like Operation Tango mid last year. I think that's a great like co-op game that was available in PlayStation Plus. I think in June or July last year. They had Destruction All Stars, again, like not a highly well critically received game, but was like AAA multiplayer title that they were a few months ago going to charge $70 for it. So yeah, and I think like Oddworld, the more recent AIDS Oddworld game, that was a day one. That was a PlayStation Plus title, pardon me. So yeah, like on the whole, like we said, they've had such better offerings on the PlayStation Plus side of things for monthly games compared to Xbox. And they also have, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but they had that PlayStation Plus collection, if you like, at the start of the PlayStation 5 launch, where you got like 20 something classic games, things like God of War and Uncharted and I think Bloodborne and Infamous and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think essential, if you have a PlayStation 4 or 5, is essential, unless you're purely single player and have no interest in going online. And that's why they have 50 million subscribers to that service.
Exactly. Whereas when you get up into like the extra and the sort of premium stuff, I mean, obviously the back catalog is appealing, like because obviously the majority of releases last generation came out on PlayStation. They were the 360 of that generation, where it was like that was the platform to be on. So, having access to that back catalog and that kind of stuff is great. When it gets to the premium tier, where you have the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 and PSP stuff and the streaming, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if that. I mean, I don't own a PlayStation. I'll say right now, like because I just don't. I wouldn't have the time, to be honest. But I don't know if that really. Like, I think that on the streaming side of things, I don't know how many people on the Xbox side are like, oh, I want to go back to the original Xbox and play a bunch of original Xbox games. I'm not really sure how much of an appeal that is really to people.
It's weird to me because like they've had such an opportunity with like Xbox had backwards compatibility come out in 2015? Yeah. And that was the biggest announcement for the generation for me. Like Rare Replay was like, oh my god, just this is great. Now give me Banjo. Give me more Banjo. But you would just think of how well PlayStation would do if they had like a native PS2, PS1. Like PS3, I miss that generation. There was a few games I wanted to play, like Resistance Fall of Man, that I was really bummed on, like that I didn't get to check out. But I'm not going to go and buy a console for one game, unless it is
unless it's Metal Gear Solid 4. Apparently, that's the one.
Well, that's the one example, right? Like this game that is lost to history because the fact that it's tied to the PlayStation 3 and there's really no other way of gaining access to it. So yeah, I agree, Cameron. Like I think it would do so much to placate like such a hardcore fan base on the PlayStation side that they would jump on a PlayStation Plus premium subscription service if it was all native. But having said that, like the reason I brought up the fact that 2/3 of the current subscriber base are subscribed annually at the $60 per year level is the fact that for only another $60 per year for PlayStation Plus Premium, you get access to what is it going to be, like 700 plus games. Like, yeah, I don't think this is as an exciting an offering as Game Pass, but for an extra $60 a year, 700 games, going back all those generations, I can see hardcore PlayStation fans just happily paying that bit extra per year, just for the luxury of being able to access it whenever they want.
Like, it's good, but I'm just trying to think how I want to explain this. So, me as a consumer, I've got like 2,000 games at this point. I've got a ridiculous amount of games. I've got a bookcase, to my side full of physical games, and I have way too many digital. I don't want to go back to the old games. Service sounds great to me, but like if you're a new consumer, going in, it's amazing.
That's kind of what I meant, right? Like, it's that like how much of a like it looks good in a marketing term, right? You put the number up, you say 700 games, people are like, wow, that's like a lot. Like that's a huge amount. And like Game Pass only has like 150. And if you're going to do the bigger number, better person thing, right? But I think that I think like to Cameron's point, like I grew up on like the PlayStation 1 was my first console. PlayStation 2 is where I like really fell in love with video games. So I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for that. And like if I had a PlayStation, I would definitely be on the highest tier because like I'd be like because I want to check that stuff out. I'd be happy to play a lot of stuff, assuming the library's good. But to the average consumer, how many of them are going to pay for it, and then how many of them are going to use it? I mean, Sony probably doesn't care how many people use it as opposed to how many people pay for it, right? So maybe even if it isn't really a huge draw in terms of like the use that people get out of it, maybe it's more just so they can say they have the number and put it on the billboard.
I was thinking more so of the case of you think is gaming is a social activity. How many of your friends want to play like day one experiences?
That's true. I'm never social when I game, so that's a good point. I had no idea.
Whereas, and I would dare say the majority of people are. It might be a different case with Sony because a lot of the games are more of a single player experience. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how well their offering with those 700 games is tying with whether it's a solo or a multiplayer level of experience. But to me, like I know like personally how I game is like I like the day ones. I like to be able to be on the ground floor.
Part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Like I like to be the tester.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like I enjoy going back to some older games, but it really is the day one titles in Game Pass that gets me across the line. And the fact that usually they're of a high quality, like the fact that, Tunic dropped the other day. I'm just diving straight into that. Something like Young Souls looks like a cool indie that, that I might have bought, if it wasn't available. But the fact that it is in Game Pass just makes me so happy to subscribe. And now I'm excited to dive into Weird West that launched yesterday. That's kind of what keeps me subscribed. I think this is like from PlayStation's perspective, this is a play to extract more revenue out of the existing customers they already have. I don't think this really appeals to new customers or people who aren't already in the PlayStation ecosystem, because if you're after value for money, then I think you just can't compare it to Game Pass, particularly with something like the Series S on the market. If just getting into gaming and having access to a wide variety of games is the goal, then for me the Series S with Game Pass takes the cake. But again, it'll all tie back to the type of experiences people want. If they like more single player stuff and maybe some of the third person story driven stuff that PlayStation does will appeal to them. So I'm keen to see. PlayStation is usually pretty transparent about their subscriber numbers. I'm wondering if we will get a breakdown once this launches later this year on how it's split and how many premium subscribers they have. But I think it's going to do well for them. Like I said at the top, just it was a no-brainer to combine PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now together. So that was a good move.
Yeah, it's the smart move, even if it isn't exactly for us. But it's kind of a no-brainer.
It made me think the other day, going back to Gold. Like, are you happy with the games that they actually are bringing out?
See, not even a bit. Not even a tiny bit. I've stopped downloading them like a year ago.
All right. This just randomly ran through my head the other day, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. What if they went, all right, we're scrapping Games of Gold. We're gonna have a library of games. We're gonna have like 100, 200 titles to pick from. They're gonna change all the time. We're giving you 2 games to pick from this library to own each month.
The problem with that is that the reason why Games with Gold is the way it is because they essentially have a deal with whoever the publisher is. And they basically pay out based on how many people redeem that game. So they put out a certain amount. They say, okay, this month's game is this. We'll pay you out based on how many people actually redeem it. Not how many people have subscribed and offered it, but how many people actually go and click the button and add it to their account.
What if they own the publisher?
I mean, okay, yeah, if it's like all first party stuff, then sure, but all that stuff should be in Game Pass anyway.
I know this is gonna be a weird thing because it's like I have that mentality of like, sure, I'm probably signed up for Game Pass Ultimate for life. It's just a fact now, yeah.
I've got enough free months that I'll be there for at least the next couple of years.
We just got to win a few more Hall of Fames. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Exactly.
But in terms of like the typical everyday consumer, that might go, all right, I've done 3 months. I'm traveling overseas for a month. I'm coming back. Like I've canceled my subscription. I forgot about it, and then they say, oh, Gears of War 5 is like like one of the options I can pick from this month, I'm going to sign up and do that.
Mm-hmm. I think it becomes problematic, right? Because if you said, so in your example, Cam, if it was like, okay, instead of us dictating these are the 4 games that you get each month, instead you get to pick 2 games each month to have access to from the Game Pass library, then I think a lot of current existing Game Pass subscribers will just drop their membership down because they're only interested in Halo and Forza.
Not the same library.
Not the same library, so
I wasn't going to say the same library, yeah.
Okay. I think that just becomes too confusing. Like, if you look at, I think the strength of Game Pass right now is that the catalog remains the same, whether you have Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. Unless there are only games on the PC side of things or only games on the console side of things.
Sure.
But the difference is access to one, the other. In Ultimate, it's both, and then with Ultimate, you get a bunch of perks. So for the hardcore fan, they're going to subscribe to Ultimate. But I think if you start to separate via tiers, then that becomes a bit of like a Amazon Luna situation where you subscribe, but then you have to like pay for like Ubisoft's channel to get access to their games, and it becomes a bit of a mess. So I just want to get to the point where they can just scrap Xbox Live Gold completely, and then Game Pass just becomes that base tier.
They're probably not too far off from it, considering they're doing a repeat for April.
But
one of the
Okay. At the same time, that's happened before in different regions.
It's happened, but I mean, and it's happened actually once before in in traditional regions as well with Guardians of Light years ago. But
I don't think that's the end all.
No, I don't think so. But like, I think that like, it's again, we've been saying that it's dead for ages. To be fair, so actually, you know what? What do we know?
You've been saying it's dead. I've just been saying it could be better. Look, if they give me games that I don't already own, like I've got going.
I agree, Cam. But you also need to remember that we are not anywhere near the typical consumer. We own so many games. For them to give us something that we don't own is a miracle in and of itself.
True.
Especially on like the 360. Holy shit! Like those all like it's like okay, they have to be backwards compatible, and you have to not own them. And it's like when they gave me Sacred, I was like, fantastic, that's great, because I do own that, but I own the disc version, so now I don't have to get up. Like that's the ideal situation. If they start giving me my old disc games on digital form, so I don't have to rebuy them for overpriced like $40, great. That's where Games with Gold should go.
Start relisting games. Give me Spider-Man.
Yeah, actually,
wishful thinking.
Drive those resale values down.
I think it was Jeff Grubb who was saying that it is Microsoft's intention somewhere on a whiteboard in one of their offices that like Xbox Live Gold going away is a thing. Like they want to remove it completely once Game Pass hits a certain threshold of subscribers, which is good for competition because that's going to put pressure on Sony to say, hey, how come you're now charging for multiplayer online? And does anyone who wants to play any paid multiplayer experience like an Overwatch or a Rainbow Six Siege or Minecraft on PlayStation all of a sudden feel compelled to switch? I think in the age of like free-to-play games, it's no longer much of an issue because some massive games like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Apex and Rocket League, you don't need a subscription at all. But I think it would do well to, I suppose, sway a lot of people towards Microsoft's favor, particularly after they start to get Call of Duty as a first-party thing that's available in Game Pass.
Very true.
When it gets to the free-to-play stage, though, it becomes more of a console versus mobile market situation, like with Apple.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true. There's a whole another avenue to compete against.
I was going to say, just looking up on 168 games of gold that I've got over the years. So I still like I'm not advocating for it like as hard as nobody's really advocating for it, but
yeah,
like it's still good to be able to go like, all right, cool. If I was to pick up a full-time job where I'm working like crazy hours tomorrow and I just couldn't play Xbox, had to cancel my membership, came back in like 2 years' time, I could just pick it up again and still have access to it. Game Pass is a different story.
Sort of, yeah. Well, the thing is also if you lapse your subscription on the Xbox, you lose access to those games.
Yeah, until you repurchase.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I could let it run out.
Sure.
Whereas in PlayStation, I don't think that's the case, right? It runs out, it's gone.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably move on. I think maybe we should go straight into the cheesing stuff.
I was going to say, just quickly mention the Game Pass stuff.
Sure.
So for those that aren't aware, Game Pass is being kept in the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the latest in the Fast and the Furious franchise.
They really need to get Vin Diesel on board to advertise this thing.
Easy.
Yes.
That's a match made in heaven.
This is
they had The Rock for the original Xbox.
Did you see the Andre Brewer ad they just did recently for Xbox All Access?
No, I didn't.
The guy who plays Captain Holt on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, I need to watch that. That's
so good. It's so good. Right. They need Vin Diesel.
Looking this up straight after. Like, what was the one they did a few months ago? Like the song.
It was All Access as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was All Access. It was it
was like a 90s band.
It was.
I'm blanking. Somebody in the chat, help us out, please. Thank you. So essentially, it's just Xbox Game Pass, but having a family plan. I believe it was. I haven't really read through the article much, but I believe it was up to 5.
5 different.
The
song was "I Swear," and it was
That's right.
All for One.
That's it. Yeah, cool. So very quick news, but I mean, great for families or dorm rooms or friends or. Sorry, what? Cool. But I don't think they released the price though.
No, it's not announced.
Well, this is just a report from I think Windows Central. Yeah. So I think it's a no-brainer. People have been screaming about this for years at this point. The fact that most other subscription services have a family plan option. But 5, that's a lot. And my gut is that it'll be 5 people get access to the ultimate tier. So that would be, if you're paying for it separately, what's that, like $75 per month? 5 times 15. So so what's the discount going to be? It's going to be half. Like that's like around $35-$40.
I think if they did
that's still a lot.
I think if they did like 40% discount, that'd be pretty.
Yeah, if you get two free, I'm sure is probably the way that they'll go with it. I mean, they had like pricing for Game Pass in general has been massively competitive. I mean, they've basically been giving it away forever. I know that that'll obviously change once they hit a certain threshold, right? They'll be like, well, we've got the market, and now we just got to tighten the screws. But until then, get the most out of it that you can, I suppose.
Wait until they buy Sony, and it's just all one company.
Don't even joke.
It's April Fool's.
It is April Fool's. Yeah,
cool.
Wouldn't that be amazing if they cooperated on something like that? Oh my goodness,
that would actually be hilarious.
Wishful thinking.
And then Cameron, you found this thing about cheesing, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, so Guardian put out an article on basically just talking about Elden Ring and some few tricks in the game, some system glitches, design oversights, whatever you want to call it. And it kind of led me thinking, like, cheesing in video games, is it right or wrong? And let's discuss.
Sure. So for context, cheesing is usually defined as having some sort of trick that helps you finish a game or beat a boss or do something.
You exploit.
Exploit, basically, unintended, right? So, the Souls games have been full of those because the people who tend to play them tend to be pretty ingenious and also incredibly frustrated, but also very, very dedicated. So, for example, in Elden Ring, there is one of the big optional bosses. There is a way to, after you get defeated by him the first time, the fog deck comes up and you have to go through to fight him again. If you jump around the geometry, you can get into the arena and fight him, and he won't respond because the trigger for him to start fighting won't happen. So you can just wail on him until he dies. I didn't end up doing that, but I did see a video about it.
Did you see the brick in the wall, like the hole in the wall one?
Yeah. So there's another great one where there's one guy who's in a room in a castle, and there is one pixel of a brick that apparently is it wasn't basically the physics don't work on it, so you can shoot an arrow through the brick and just eventually whittle the enemy down to nothing. How they discovered this, I have no idea. It's the kind of thing that they kind of, the Souls genre sort of attracts these kinds of people who are completely nuts.
And that's why Matt has the completion.
I do have the completion in the game, yes, and I will 100% say that I used every trick that I could get my hands on for that game because, in my opinion, games games are always against the player. It's you versus a bunch of ones and zeros, and introducing a player into any gaming environment is an agent of chaos. It is impossible to predict what any player will do at any time. You can have a pretty good idea of like directing people in the right direction, but there's inevitably going to be someone who tries and hits all the walls or does like, jumps against something for a bit. I mean, look at speedrunners, for God's sake. That's breaking the games to the nth degree, trying to find every bit that they can exploit. And like, are they wrong for doing that? I mean, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
If you can.
I'm torn. I think context is everything. And I think that's a pretty good value in life. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, I mean, if cheesing's gonna get me to an achievement quicker, it's great. But then if achievement is going to whittle down a, say, 20-hour completion into an 8-second completion, I don't feel comfortable about that.
Yeah, but I think my argument to that would always be that achievements are almost a separate thing from this, right? Because at the end of the day, the main reason you should be playing video games is for yourself, right? Like, obviously, there's the social aspect, there's the achievement hunting aspect, there's, clout and like esports and all this other kind of stuff around it. But the core idea of playing a video game is for you to essentially have an experience. And if you want to cheapen that experience by, using a cheat code or finding a glitch or, like an Elden Ring, they're like, oh, if there's a whole sort of elitist thing where it's like, if you summon other players to help you with a boss, you didn't beat the game. You basically cheated. And it's like, it's your own experience. Break it as much as you want, as long as you're not affecting other people.
I'll be honest though, as soon as you said cheapens the experience, the first thought that jumped into my mind when I hit the word cheat code in my ear was GTA, back on the PS2.
Yep.
Helicopters, 5 stars. Yeah, cool. How does that cheapen an experience?
Exactly. Spawn in a tank, drive around, and have a good time. Like, the game is yours to do whatever you want with, as long as you're not impacting other people. That's always been my viewpoint. I mean, obviously, you add achievement hunting in there. There's a competitive aspect. There's, obviously, you don't want people just hacking achievements and that kind of stuff. And there's kind of there's leaderboards and other things to consider. But that's not the game's fault. That's our fault. That's because we're nuts. Like, that's a problem that we have. And I don't think that saying that a game has, like, that you've it's very rarely that I tell someone that they're playing a game incorrectly, because it's like games are meant that you play them however you want to play them.
Keeping to Elden Ring though, how do you feel about people being able to spawn and get the game completed in 20 minutes now?
I mean, fair play to them if they can figure out how to do it. I would say Elden Ring is one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. Like it's not flawless by any means, but it's a 10 out of 10 experience. And I haven't fought every boss. I didn't explore every nook and cranny, but I did a lot of that game. I got all the achievements out of it. I summoned on most of the bosses. I had ashes to summon one of the NPC help for that. I only had to summon other players for that last fucking ridiculous boss. But if someone's going to get on my case because I used the mimic tier, because it's overpowered.
Who didn't use the mimic tier except for
who didn't use the mimic tier? And it's like, exactly right. It's the one guy who's like, if you ever blocked, if you ever leveled yourself up, if you ever looked at a guide, if you ever spoke to another human being about the game, you didn't play it correctly. Like, you didn't play it the way it was intended.
You use magic? Played. What are you?
Exactly. They're like, oh, you used a spell? Like, it's like, oh no, I just go in with a sword and nothing else. I don't know. It's
armor's overrated. What do you mean?
Anyway, Shane, what do you think? I don't. You've played a few video games in your time.
Yeah, it's just a couple. I'm mostly aligned with you, Matt. Like, it's this is the joy of video games. Like, this is the joy of interactive entertainment, where the experience is dictated by the player and the control you have in your hands. Like, one of the most creative examples of this is it Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3, where there's one boss that you have to beat in the jungle or the forest or whatever, and you can fast forward the PS2's internal clock by a year, and then you reload the game and the guy has starved to death.
Yep.
Like, it is that's the beauty of video games right there, and the beauty of cheesing, as you might put it. I was most interested to hear your commentary, and I think you spoke to it beautifully about, does this cheapen what it means to 100% a game? And all of a sudden, is there, is it tainted the fact that, if you wanted to 100% or platinum something like Elden Ring, that, did you do it the proper way? Did you do it the real way? And again, I think that starts to get into that conversation around like accessibility and the fact that, did you get, you got 1,000 gamer score in something like Psychonauts 2? Yeah, but were you invincible the whole time because the game allows you to do that? And I think that's as much about how much meaning you put into achievements and trophies and that sort of thing, versus, the net positive that is gained from having millions of people being able to enjoy the game where they might not have been able to beforehand without invincibility. So, I think, call it cheesing, whatever you want. I think it is essentially the beauty of video games, and the fact that it's a system that is there to be overcome by the player, to your point, mate, you versus ones and zeros. So the fact that these exploits exist in games, I think it's just an extra layer of fun to try and find and discover.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think to your point here around, does it cheapen the experience from an achievement hunting or a trophy hunting perspective? I mean, it kind of does. I mean, I'm not going to be an elitist about it, right? Like I'm about to hit my 1.9 million. I've definitely taken the path of least resistance on most of the games that I played, just because, like, for time reasons and for, like, I don't play games to be challenged most of the time.
Right.
Like, I understand. I mean, like, having said it, obviously, like, I did Elden Ring, like, so I don't mind a bit of challenge, and there's certain things that I do enjoy, but I mostly play games for experiences and stories. I'm a narrative, like, I enjoy narrative. I like understanding the medium. I like to see what they can do with stuff. Like, I played recently on Game Pass last week. They've released the Zero Escape, the Nunnery game, which is basically a visual novel with escape rooms in it. Really, really simple. If you wanted to just sit there, skip the whole story, just keep mashing through the talking bits, and then just look up a guide for all the puzzles, you could be done with that game, those two games, in like 20 hours, maybe, if that. It took me like closer to 40 because I'd never played them before, and it was 100% my kind of game. Interesting puzzles, interesting story, lots of intrigue and mystery, and sure, like, I'm an achievement, like, I'm a gamer first and achievement hunter second, and it's a close second, but I still have to remind myself every now and then the reason I play video games is because I want to play video games, and the reason I achievement hunt is because I like squeezing everything I can out of a game, and also I have an obsessive personality, and I like to tick things off of lists. But that shouldn't come, like, games shouldn't come second to that most of the time. And like, obviously I say that Cameron and I are doing an achievement hunting competition this month with the Xbox cast, where we're going to try and
down.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I mean, to be fair, they 100% called me out, and what they're doing is that the entire community is adding their score up against whatever I get this month. So, yeah, I'm going to be playing a lot of trash very, very quickly, and I'm probably not going to be getting the full narrative experience out of most of these games. But I make no bones about that, right? Like, I am playing for that reason alone. But it might, like, recently my achievement hunting has slowed down because I've been playing things that are longer games, slightly more challenging, or, more narrative focused, not the kind of traditional, 8 to 10 hour sort of, relatively disposable completion.
Are you the Thanos of the ANZ achievement hunting community?
Kind of, yeah.
Everyone's like teaming up of like Avengers to take you down.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so I'm just going to snap my fingers, and we're just going to, people's gamer scores are just going to be wiped out.
Don't let him get to 2 million.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the Infinity Stones.
That's exactly. I'm going to do it. It's great. Cameron, you know what you need to do for the art for this episode.
Yeah. Can do.
But anything you guys wanted to add before we move on?
Like, I was just trying to think of it in my mind, because like speedrunning's speedrunning's using like glitches and cheeses and all that as well.
100%.
But then there's so much replayability in that, because you're always trying to best yourself. Whereas in the problem with like achievement hunting is, like, if we cheese something, that's it. We're, like, in a way either robbing ourselves of the experience, depending on what kind of cheese is, or, like, at the very least lessening the experience and not having that aspect of replayability.
Yeah. It's true.
I'm just trying to tackle it in my mind and just how I feel about that personally, because like there are some games like ultimately to me in terms of achievement hunting, I want that 20 to 25 hour experience. Like Forza Horizon is a perfect example of me of just checking down a box, getting everything done, seeing the completion at the end of the day, and being like, all right, next one, when, please? And that's me. But at the same, like, as soon as the achievements are done, it's when to the next title update or DLC or the next game.
Yeah, like, and a lot of it, like, and this is like the fine line between like what is an exploit and what is just like using the game systems to, you know, find a new way to enjoy the game. I think about like so many of the different clips I saw from the Halo Infinite campaign shortly after it launched, where people were like stacking fusion coils around where bosses would spawn, and they'd exit the cutscene, and then those bosses would just instantly die. Like that is, I don't think I'd call that an exploit. That's just like leveraging the rules of the game to your advantage and finding creative ways to overcome things. So yeah, I think it'd be a crying shame for things like that to disappear.
Yeah, because like, you know, like we said, like Agent of Chaos, like you are, it's an interactive medium, and like you're supposed to be, you know, humans are ingenuitive people, like creatures by nature, and like we like to explore, we like to work with the tools we have, and we like to break things.
Yeah, that's the joy of, you know, a game like Halo. It's the sandbox, right? Like you're given the tools and you create your own fun. Yeah, love that.
Well, we need Forge.
Yeah, well, yeah, literally
one day. Yeah. One day, Cam. Hopefully in our lifetime.
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, it'll come with the co-op, right?
I'm so keen for Lasso. It's crazy to think like November was like 5 months ago, and I'm still waiting for co-op.
I know. I'm just when you were saying about cheapening the experience, it actually made me think of Nier Automata, which is again one of those games that like I absolutely love, and I think everyone should try.
All right, I'm gonna get called out. That's fine.
You are no, I'm not. I'm like, this is me not calling out because I get it, right?
You haven't played it either, Cam? Because I haven't.
No, I did the 4-hour method rather than the 40-hour method.
Yeah, so there is that game essentially has a sliding scale of how much you want to play it. It is a 100-hour completion if you do everything. If you get to a certain point in the game, once you've finished the game, once you've like done the story or you've gotten to like the, you know, done the endings, there are a lot of achievements for like, you know, beat this optional boss, get to this certain level, get this level of weapon. You can go to an in-game store and just buy that achievement if you have enough in-game money.
Oh wow!
And so it can just be like, hey, you know, like hey, I've experienced like 80% of this game. I don't really want to grind for the next like 30 hours, so I'm just gonna sell my items and buy this achievement. And so like that cuts it down to like a, you know, like a 40-hour completion. And that's what I did when I finished the game, because I'd seen the narrative. That's what I was interested in. The combat I liked, but I had it on easy. Like I wasn't there to be challenged. And then someone discovered a method to, in the very first boss fight, there's an area where if you do like a command, it'll essentially open up a level select, a chapter select, and you can basically go anywhere in the game and just go right to the end and just get all the ending achievements.
You go to a tank, defeat it 15 times, get the currency, go back to town.
And then buy literally every achievement you need.
Level grind, come back, buy all the achievements, skip to the ending, finish.
Yeah, and so you don't see any of the story, and like that breaks my heart because the story is that game.
You know what? It was like, I'm just talking personally to my experience. I wanted it in such a way of like, I don't have the amount of time to be able to do this, but at the same time, there was enough snippets of the story in there to be like, I need to check out a review. I need to do something like. I want a movie of this. I just want the 1.5, 2 hour movie that discusses the topics of the game, but without playing 100 hours, really.
Yeah, and it has the added thing in there of being that like it was on Game Pass, it was leaving Game Pass. A lot of people were like, oh damn, I need to get this done, so I'm just gonna have to do the quickest way. It also had a stack on PC, which again I did that method for the stack because I was like, I've seen everything I need to see. I just want the achievements as quickly as possible. So like, I don't begrudge people from doing it, but I understand the idea of like robbing yourself of an experience. But at the end of the day, it's a choice that you have to make for yourself. And like, I'll always try and push people to at least from a narrative perspective, get the most out of games they can. Gameplay wise, I don't really care. There are cool things that happen in games, but I'm there to see what happens, what people have written, and what experiences you have as the player in that world.
See, like in terms of that gameplay, it was pretty much like a Final Fantasy kind of experience. Like it was.
It's a platinum action. Action.
Like I didn't need that. All I wanted was the story.
Yeah, which is why I put it on easy and just breeze through it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. I suppose we should get into some of the Game Pass stuff. What's been happening, Cameron?
That is a very good question because we don't know anything at all.
For April?
Yeah, they haven't. All right, so Tuesday nights, yeah. Every second Tuesday night, I stay up to 1 a.m., 1:30, because that's usually when we have the Game Pass updates. Usually drops. We find out what games are leaving, what games are coming. We know 2 games that are coming this month, which MLB The Show is one of them. I can't remember the other one off the top of my head because I know it was it's a small indie title and I just don't have it in front of me. Anyway, we usually have it. Other night, it was just all right, we're dropping the Games of Gold announcements. So it's all right, cool. I'll just wait till tomorrow, I guess. And we just haven't seen anything. I'm guessing they're going to do it Tuesday next week, which is the 5th?
Yeah.
Which seems late to me for whatever reason.
Leaving it a little bit late, yeah.
But it's whatever. So I would say at this current point in time, go play Kraken Academy. Charlotte's loving it. I'm sure she would have talked about it if she was on the show. I talked about Young Souls last week. Absolutely love it. Same with Tunic. And I guess if you're really looking forward to it, go play MLB 2021 before it leaves Game Pass because that's my prediction.
Yeah.
And then you can play 2022. And Outriders. Outriders, I feel is going to leave this month as well.
Yeah, they probably.
Because 12 months post-launch, yeah.
That's what I reckon.
And then, like you said, the Games of Gold got announced. So we have another Spirit, which is April 20.
I love the cover art for that. That's actually
looks really good.
To check it out.
It's April 1st, April 30th. We've got Hue, which is April 16th and May 15th. We got Outpost Milwaukee X, April 1st to April 15th, and MX versus ATV Alive, April 16th.
Which was the
30th,
repeat, yeah?
Which is, the one I've already had in there before. So nothing too exciting. I mean, I own all of them except for another site, so I'm interested in kind of what that is.
Hugh's been in Game Pass back in the early days.
Hugh was in Game Pass. Yeah. I know Charlotte was finishing that up quickly before it left, so that's where I did it. And then I think I own the other one that I've just had sitting there. It's back as compatible.
It was an interesting game. It'd be good to revisit. Colors is in platforming, right?
Yeah. There's a sort of color-coded platformer that you use to sort of change puzzles.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right, well, let's get into what we've been playing then. I'll just quickly flick through my stuff because I don't have a huge amount. We're in April, so the Achievement Hunting Challenge has started, so I've been playing a lot of trash. So I won't go through all of that. But this afternoon, I managed to get to 1,800,999. So I picked my 1.9 game. And so I just started it, and I've been busy horsing around. Playing again, as long-time listeners will know, I always pick something that's very strange or terrible to put in my trophy, and I put it in my trophy case after I finished it. So just for some examples, my 200,000, I did Hannah Montana. I did was it Winx Club for one of them?
I remember that show. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Yeah. Your driving essentials for 1.8.
1.6, 1.7, yeah, 1.7, yeah. Okay. And then 1.8, I did the Unicorn Princess. So just to give you an idea of the caliber of games that I play for these. So I made my decision today, and I'm playing Horse Club Adventures. I've made a pretty blonde girl who I've named Trash, and her amazing horse is called Garbage. And I laugh every time it just says, "Please mount Garbage." It absolutely tickles me. It is this game has more fetch quests than an MMORPG. It's unbelievable because it's not like there's going to be any combat, right? So it's literally get on your horse, ride to a location, talk to someone, skip through the dialogue, and then it'll tell you, hey, you need to ride back. Oh, wait, no, I need to ride to this other location. It's just riding around in circles. It's one of the most boring games I've ever played in my entire life. But I've started it. I need to get it done. And then after that, I can actually start playing some real trash, some Radalaikas, some 15-minute games just to get through it. But
first of all, how long is this going to take you? And second of all, I really hope Alison is just sitting behind you, narrating the whole experience.
Oh, she's watching. She's like, she said that because she got back from the gym. She's like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? And I was just like, oh, and of course, like I'm playing this deadpan because
this is garbage and this is trash.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is Horse Club Adventures, like the latest release. Have you not heard about this? So yeah, she was not impressed. It's
trash.
It's rough, but yeah. So we're gonna get through that, and then
can I ask, Matt? Do you already know the game that'll take you over to 2 million?
Yes, I do. I'm not going to say what it is.
I'm going to say, okay, I just want to know.
I got it downloaded because I'm going to get 100,000 this month, and I'm going to get 2 million in this competition. I'm going to be the first.
If you didn't, I was going to ask and request Balan Wonderland. That's.
Oh my god! I mean, like I that's one that I have considered.
You know what though? He'll like we'll get through this entire month. We'll do our 12-hour stream and all that. He'll finally start it. He'll come back to the next podcast and be like, "This was a good game." I don't know why anybody thinks.
No, I've seen Balan Wonderworld. I think that's
Wonderworld. That's it. Yeah. And just roughly based on the cadence, when do you expect to get to that 2 million?
So I have a lot of trash downloaded because I need to be ready for the competition. So it will be before the end of the month. It might even be in 2 to 3 weeks.
We made a list of 60 games that we're gonna buy.
Yeah, so there's going to be... Yeah, to be fair, I've done a lot of those already, but yes.
Wait, hang on. 2 million gamer score, you're going to hit...
I'm gonna hit that this month, yeah.
Holy cow. I'm going to go to 100,000. The first individual in Oceanic to hit 2 mil.
Yeah. So...
Please stream it. I want to be there.
Yeah, I will. I think I will actually stream when we finally get there. It will... Yeah, it'll be something, that's for sure.
And how many people have reached 2 million gamer score?
I mean, I can look right now.
I'll check while you talk.
Sure. Sorry, I'm derailing things. I'm so fascinated. I just want to say, like,
there's how many are 3 mil now?
8 or like 70 or
yeah. So I'm ranked 51st in the world.
Okay.
So there's probably about there's a few people ahead of me, but I'm 53rd at the moment. Apparently, it does fluctuate, but
so maybe just under 50. Like there's some others that are in the 1.9 range.
Yeah, so there's 1.9. So it looks like.
So we have 2 individuals, which are Smirnov and Redemption, denied because Redemption's a bloody freaking nature. Over 3 mil.
Goodness.
In terms of 2 mil, we have...
So 39 people are at 2 mil. One of them just crossed over 2 mil.
39 people are above 2 mil. 2 people are above 3 mil.
Yeah. So number 40 is like 400 away from it. So
right.
So it's about 40. I'm gonna try and get into that spot. It'll give me a nice boost when I play all this stuff, but it's gonna be a rough week. It's gonna like this weekend and next week are gonna be very, very rough. Yeah. Because I'm gonna be playing nothing but bad stuff. And so I did have to play a couple of things this week to sort of even up my score to make sure I was exactly 1,000 points off my milestone. So I did a couple of crappy visual novels, but I also played Bloodshore.
Bloodshore is a crappy FMV.
It's a one of those Wales Interactive FMV games where it's like a really badly acted movie that you kind of have choices for.
I'm gonna interject here. I love Wales Interactive. Yeah, they are such a good developer. Mm-hmm. They usually put out really good FMV games. Like I love Late Shift when it was in Game Pass.
Their older stuff tends to be better than their newer stuff.
Amazing, yeah. Like actually has me invested. Bloodshore. Oh my god, Bloodshore is such a interesting concept.
So Bloodshore is essentially, for those who don't know, is a full motion video, real actors, you make choices. It's a real life battle royale where a bunch of people jump out of a plane that's clearly not actually flying and it's just a set. Onto an island that's clearly just some location that they found to basically battle to the death in a battle royale style with one survivor, but with some of the worst acting you've ever seen in your entire... Like, it's almost like Neil Breen level of just real cringy, bad acting, overacting, and also because you're making the choices, the characters always stay there, stay in their poses for a little bit too long while the bar is ticking down and you make a choice. So everything feels really stilted and pieced together.
It doesn't work for a battle royale.
No, it really does not. It does not. Also, the gun effects are they use really I'm almost it's almost bad on purpose at this point. I feel like it has to be intentional because all the guns, like, you can tell that they're like really cheap airsoft rifles because like they just kind of wave them around like they're empty, which they are. Like they don't have any internals and they're not made of metal. But yeah, so I finished it. I got all 4 of the endings. It's it's something. It's something like, and they've definitely gone downhill recently because I like some of their older stuff, like I said, like Late Shift and
Shapeshifting Detective.
Detective is really good. And Paul Monroe also is pretty good. And,
even telling wise, for what it is pretty good. Then that just hit Game Pass recently.
But yeah, so like it's like a 3 to 4 hour completion. The checkpointing is really bad though, so like I had to quit out because I had to jump over to something. And when I came back, I had lost like half an hour of progress, and I was like, ugh. And like you can't, like, once you play through the game, you can skip through scenes you've already seen and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, I like this style of game. It's all really cheesy and funny and just kind of, it's easy points. So I did that. We did some Halo Wars 2. We finished up the Awakening of the Nightmare DLC, or at least the story of it. We're gonna have to run through again on Legendary and do some of the cleanup achievements. But yeah, man, that game's way harder than the base game. The base game is like easy compared to that. But still really great time. So yeah, Cameron and I did a bit more of that. We'll
you wait until we do that other DLC with the
Spearbreaker. Yeah, Spearbreaker is rough.
I've only got those 2
the Vidmasters.
Vidmasters, yeah. Couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say too, like, going back to Wales Interactive quickly. They released Bloodshot, but they didn't release what is it?
Gamer Girl. I'm pretty sure Gamer Girl is in this game though. I think that was pretty much what they did. They were just like, that was controversial, so we're just going to put that character in this game. And yeah, also I've been playing a bit of Saints Row 3 Remastered with Charlotte because she's never played the Saints Row series before, so it's been a fantastic experience. She's been laughing her ass off. So, and also that game's great. Like, I love that game. I think that it's aged like really, like, actually pretty well. Some of the references are a bit dated, but the core hilarious gameplay and the dialogue is just, it's really fucking juvenile, and I'm super there for it.
It's kind of before the series jumped the shark a bit, right? Like it was pushing that edge, but it was doing it really well.
Yeah,
a bit far.
Yeah, and well, like for like again, like the DLC included you getting like, was it getting cloned and anyway, yeah. And then like 4 was like, also we destroyed the entire Earth and there are aliens.
I mean, any game that, like, in 4's defense, I think it is 4. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but any game that starts with "I don't want to miss a thing" is an instant. Like,
oh yeah, okay. Like the music in those games is so good. They just, yeah, exactly, the whole Armageddon stuff. And I mean, to be fair, the tagline for the 4th game was "From the crack house to the White House." I don't know how you do much better than that. Like, they obviously had a great time making that game.
You know what, marketing goals at that time would have been to, like, help put together that collector's edition.
That would have been amazing. Yeah,
you're aware of the collector's edition.
They did that $1 million Dubai
edition. Car, right?
Yeah.
It's like a car and like plastic surgery and stuff or some ridiculous shit. It's so good. But yeah, having a great time with that. It's really good to go back to that because I obviously haven't played through Saints Row 3 in a long time. And then the thing that I've been playing the most of that I wrote Song of the Week about, I played through and finished The Surge. So I finished Elden Ring recently, and I've been on a bit of a Souls-like kick. And I was trying to figure out what else I had in my backlog I needed to do. And so this came up, and I thought, you know what? I've heard good things. I know the second one is like better in every single way, but I should start with the first one. And I had a really good time with it. It's definitely a lot shorter than your average Souls game. It took me about like 35 hours. That includes both the DLC packs. It's a lot more condensed experience. It really feels like a bit of a proof of concept. The guys who Deck 13 also did Lords of the Fallen, which was their other sort of Souls like game, which was not received very, very well. It was an okay game, but it was like a 5 or 6 out of 10. And this is more like a 7, 8. It's a quality game. Combat's pretty unforgiving. I'm not a huge fan of the leveling system, and also there's only like 5 bosses in the whole game, which is like half the reason you play through the Souls is to just get your ass handed to you by some monstrosity. But yeah, I had a really good time with it. I'm excited I'm probably going to pick up the second one when it goes on sale next. Because I was just like, yeah, great. Like it's exactly what I was looking for. It plays like a Souls game, looks like a Souls game. The only difference is that, yeah, there are robots instead of dragons. So
I remember being intrigued by that series only because like I was never interested in the Souls-like games just because I wasn't a fan of the motif. Like it's just dark and disgusting and wet and dreary and horrifying. I'm like, I don't want to be in this world. So the idea that there's like a sci-fi version of this game and those mechanics was tempting, but I just never picked it up.
To be fair, it is a you're in a sci-fi like factory kind of like, it's like a think like the future of Amazon meets Tesla, where it's like, oh, we're building exosuits of people, and like, it turns out that like your guy's biggest aspiration is to be a lumberjack because he wants an exosuit. He's in a wheelchair, so he wants an exosuit so he can walk again. And he's like, yeah, if I become a lumberjack and sell my soul to this company, they'll let me walk again. So hell yeah, and you do it, and like they bolt it onto you, and like the very first thing you see in the game is like once you pick your class, it's like you get into like the surgery chair, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like patient sedated, and you're like, wait, no, I'm not sedated, and suddenly it's like, I'm getting drilled into me and shit. And it's fucking horrific, and then everything goes wrong. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the story, but like clearly something happened because all the people in exosuits have lost their fucking minds and are just attacking people on sight. So you're like, oh cool, so you got to try and get through this factory. The narrative is definitely the weakest part of that game. It doesn't really, and like the Souls games narratively that's never their strong point, except, well, yes and no. Like overt narrative has been next to nothing, but there's the whole implied narrative of the world and that kind of stuff, things you discover playing through it. Whereas this is just kind of like, yeah, you're kind of like a cool guy in an exosuit, and like you get like a blade arm attachment, or you get like a big stick, or like a, like you can punch people really, really fast, and you just beat the shit out of people who are just kind of like zombies in mech suits.
I love that premise though. That's like a Dead Space premise where like the thing that your exosuit isn't necessarily a weapon in the same way that a lot of like, was it the exo cutter in Dead Space? That's not necessarily meant to be used as an offensive weapon, but it's a tool for a job.
Exactly.
That's a great premise. Love it.
Yeah, and like the weapon that I got is because there's like 5 different classes of weapons. Like one of them is just like, like I have like an iron pole that I'm just gonna beat people to death with. But one of the one is like I beat a boss, and like I literally just like ripped off the side of his thing, like a plate off the side of him, and just strapped it to my arm as a big like fuck off blade, and I just beat people to death with it. And like that's the weapon I used for the whole game. I had a great time. And then eventually, like I got to the stage where I got enough. You get basically when you level your core up, and that allows you to put implants in. But each implant has like a cost, and so every level you go up gives you 1 extra point to put in that. And so leveling yourself doesn't actually make you any more powerful. It just gives you more options, which is kind of my one big issue with the game. Is it feels like if you get stuck on something, like you can't really like grind your way out of it. It's like if you don't have the right implant that you've found to put in to make it easier, to like boost your health, boost your stamina, boost your energy, or like help you with leveling or that kind of stuff. It's just kind of like doesn't really help all that much. Apparently they've changed in the second game, and like I said, I really feel like this is kind of like a proof of concept. But I definitely recommend it. I like the DLC too. One of the DLCs is set in like a theme park that's kind of tongue-in-cheek, weirdly dystopian, because it's kind of like, imagine if like Amazon opened up a theme park and basically we're like, oh hey, come to the campus and join our, come look at all of our workers doing their jobs. Isn't this fun? It doesn't take it too seriously, but yeah, and the ending's kind of like, okay, I'm interested to see what they do in the sequel. It's kind of it has a bit of a sort of cliffhanger hook, but yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I think it's really cool. If you like the Souls genre, it's definitely worth checking out.
I just checking like what their most recent game was, and it was Surge 2 in 2019. Like they haven't had a new game since then. So
yeah, was it 2019? Jeez.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean,
they're probably due for a new title soon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that they do. I don't know if I think that Surge did quite well for them because it was kind of coming off the back of like it was like Dark Souls 3 was quite popular, and
Focus bought them just under 2 years ago. So they're working on something.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens there. Yeah, right. So the Surge 3 is probably the most likely, but if they do another, I'm a big sucker for the Souls genre. I started up Code Vein, like made my character into the tutorial, and then just kind of was like, I'll get back to this after the achievement challenge. But that's kind of that's the anime Dark Souls. So I'll be interested to see where that goes.
Have you completed the Lords of the Fallen? Or?
Yep, I did Lords of the Fallen, and I've done all the Dark Souls, and I've done Elden Ring, and so yeah, I'm all over those. This I think Technomancer might be the other one that I'm looking at, but apparently that one's pretty rough.
Technomancer is really rough.
Yeah, so we'll see. I know Valak's done it, but anyway, dragging on a bit too long, but that's pretty much what I've been playing. So it's just kind of bits and pieces of stuff. The Surge really took up most of my time. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. And that, what does that put me at? 7,595 for this week.
Very nice.
Shane, you said you were talking a bit about Halo and stuff. Anything else you've been, or anything you want to?
Not really. No, that's why I said to Cameron, I'm like, do you really want me to show? I haven't been playing much, but I've been dabbling in Tunic, really enjoying that. Again, it's just like a pretty like simple game, but I love the level design and the art style, and the world. Like it's certainly like a mystery. Like why am I even here? What's going on? So yeah, really enjoying that. I probably will finish it. Though having said that, I said the same thing for Death's Door and just never got around to finishing that one. So, look, there's not much else. Actually, I say that, but there are plenty of other games that I want to play. Like I've got what have I got? I've got Young Souls sitting there. I just loaded up the Xbox app to see what else I'm trying to get through as well. Definitely interested in Kraken Academy and A Memoir Blue, and Weird West. I'll need to get to as well. Yeah, Halo. I jump back into Halo probably a couple of times a week at the very least. I still think it is like one of the most satisfying shooters I've ever played. I love that it's sort of brought back like the classic sandbox Halo multiplayer that we love from 2 and 3, but it doesn't feel dated. It feels modern and fresh. So look, I'm really excited for season 2. I think it's disappointing that we're only getting one new arena map and one new big team battle map. Look, it's still, whenever I sit down of an evening to play games, it's still the one game that I want to play the most. That's like kind of the question I always ask myself. Because originally I had goals like to play more games and just like, I'm going to play and like, beat 2 games a month at the very least. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't want to force myself to play something that I don't want to play. If there's something else that I want to play more, I'm going to play that game. So, and that's how I got 1,000 hours in Rainbow Six Siege. It was just for the longest time, I'm like, that's the game I want to play tonight, above anything else. So, unfortunately, not a lot for me to talk about in terms of games I've been playing. But look, we're spoiled for choice right now, so I'm gonna have to dive into some more.
Have you played the campaign, or have you just been strictly multiplayer?
Yeah, I finished the campaign.
Okay, cool.
I have been thinking about doing a review of it because I'm nowhere near as high as most people are on Infinite's campaign. I think what Infinite's campaign sacrifices to allow itself to be open world and give the player that freedom, we lose so much about what made Halo campaigns, in my eyes, great during the Bungie era.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the best parts of Halo Infinite are the story, like the linear story missions at the start of the campaign and the end of the campaign.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that those missions all look the same. And there's never the equivalent of, the Scarab in Halo 3, or the gondolas in Halo 2. Like it's like all of that is missing. So anyway, I don't want to go on a tirade on Halo Infinite's campaign.
I'm happy to, because like the only open world mission that I was actually satisfied with Infinite, Infinite does so much, but at the same time, like it's that game that you're praising, but at the same time doesn't live up to expectations. And you're in this weird middle ground of like. Yeah.
I love, if you guys haven't seen it already, Skill Up's review, because he puts it so well. Like, it's, in my mind, it's like, I wouldn't say a poorly designed single player campaign, but it just doesn't lean into the strengths of the sandbox well enough. And the fact that, you arrive at an enemy encampment and, grunts are spotting you from 200 meters away and shooting you with plasma pistols. There isn't that satisfying sense of like that 30 seconds of gameplay moment to moment, and you have to create that yourself. Being an open world game where you have to take these encampments on however you please, and a lot of people find joy in that. But as someone who's been playing Halo for 20 years, like I love I can think of like countless moments in the Halo campaign where Silent Cartographer is the perfect example of it. You land on the beach, you're faced with some grunts, you enter the rocks, you've got the shields, there's a couple of elites, and there's jackals in the back. And it is like a 5-minute skirmish, but there's joy to be found in each tier of that challenge that you come across. And you don't really get that in any mission in Halo Infinite. In fact, it kind of just like, it's either at 0 or at 11. And when it's at 11, it just hits you. Like, I'm thinking of that boss fight where you've got like the 2 brute chieftains, like one's in the brute chopper and one's in the jetpack with like the turret, and you're just getting throttled no matter how much you.
so frustrating.
It was so painful. So yeah, I actually think I'm on the low end of the Halo Infinite campaign. Love the story. I think they did a fantastic job with the story, in terms of like resetting the lore for everyone, but still somehow being able to satisfy like a fan of the series for 20 years. I think they did an amazing job. But yeah, I'm actually most looking forward to what single player DLC comes next, because I'm hoping it's going to be the Taken King of Halo. Yeah. Where 343, Bungie first, they released Destiny, they learned all their lessons, and they came back and they delivered something that was more what we want and love from the franchise. So that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, to the point about Skill Up's review, it's hard to criticize it because there is nothing like Halo. Like the moment-to-moment gameplay, even in those open world sections, is so much fun. So yeah, I was in this weird dichotomy where I was just like, I love this game, but I'm so disappointed at the same time. But the story's amazing. It hasn't been this amazing in like a decade. It's a push and pull. And the same thing on the multiplayer side of things. It's like, this game is so much fun, and it's the most fun multiplayer shooter that's on the market, at least in my eyes right now. But there's just nothing there to play. Like, give us something.
It's weird with the campaign too, because it's like, you never would think that a campaign like that would make you want, like, personally for me, I'm like, what, like, everything that's happened in 5, I want answers. I want so many answers right now, like, and nothing has been addressed. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, so I haven't gone through and like completed everything in the campaign, but did they do a good job via the like the audio recordings that were scattered out? There was a bit of Lasky and there was a bit of Palmer in there.
You had bits and pieces, but I've got no idea about Locke. I've got no idea about Lasky, Palmer. Like, everything's just up in the air.
Well, I mean, hey, they need to make DLC for something, and there needs to be a book, and then hey, they need a movie, and like, you got to leave the doors.
They need a
open
TV series that is just based on the characters that has nothing to do with the game whatsoever.
Yep, exactly. But it's just funny, Shane, when you were describing how you felt about the game, I was like, yeah, so it's a great game that it's a real shame to have to play. It's kind of how it sounds, because
it was one of those weird things where I was having so much fun, but I was so disappointed at the same time.
You know what? Too?
I'm just like, what? Like, this could have been amazing. This could have been one of the greatest games ever made. Like, in terms of, if you just took Bungie's level design with all the new mechanics from the sandbox, and that story, it would have been amazing.
It's weird too, because like, I can, like, playing through on Legendary, like just the campaign, I think like in the first 2-3 days, there's so many levels too that whether, like, they're massive open world, but they're going to be perfect for co-op. And it's going to be that weird balance of like, all right, the co-op is going to just feel like really squished in the corridor kind of missions, but then at the same time, they're going to be amazing in the open world. So it's like, realistically, they should have split the campaign into a solo campaign and a co-op campaign.
Yeah, and there's no light and shade in the entire experience, right? Like, like we said at the start, it's like Forerunner internal environments, and then the Pacific Northwest, and then Forerunner internal environments again. Right. Yeah. And there's no equivalent of like Truth and Reconciliation, landing at the night, snipers and night vision. There's no Swampland 343 Guilty Spark, or landing on the Ark for the first time, with the desert environment, or the snow later on. Like, it's just, again, I'm just blurting out all this disappointment that's been buried inside of me. I thought about doing a video review, but maybe I'll just refer people to this.
It's good. You're the only person I've actually been able to talk to about it, because nobody else is really, like, everybody's just like, oh, just wait till co-op, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, I was holding off on it. I know. If you want to hear more about Cameron talking about the game, you should check out our spoiler cast that he did with Odrin. Yeah, it's really really good. I listened through it and just got it again, because I wasn't too worried about spoilers. I was more interested in just hearing their opinions, and yeah, it really does sound like it's a real bipolar game in terms of like just so much good and so much bad, and just really not really knowing how you feel about it.
It really speaks volumes to like what kind of game we would have got if is it Joseph Staten hadn't gone back, volunteered to go like, hey, can I help work on this project, when he saw the reveal at whatever Xbox event it was at that time.
Yeah, it was E3 2020. Yeah,
Craig. Yeah,
see Craig and just like, I need to do something about that.
I don't know about you guys. Just like quick side tangent. I see the complaints about the visuals. I wasn't so disappointed with them, just because Halo's art style is Halo's art style. But for me, like, the gameplay looked spot on.
I saw like grappling hook, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we need to. But that was pretty much it.
I've only ever played Halo for the gameplay in the skyboxes. I don't really care what the models look like, as long as like
in the skyboxes, like there's no variety in the skyboxes.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like even Halo 5 had like, you know, Halo 4 and 5 had amazing skyboxes. Like in the early missions especially, just like fuck. And then obviously, like, but to be fair, like no one could do a better skybox than Bungie. Like that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame because I'm the same way. Like I love Halo, and I can like name off like some of my favorite memories of like, you know, 1, 2, and 3, even in Reach. So like even like that whole Metropolis part at the very beginning of 2 is just so good. And
across the bridge, the Scorpion. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Absolutely not.
Infinite.
And like they like outside of like, you know, outside of ODST, they never went back to that environment. Basically, they were just like, nah, it's fine, Forerunner structures and.
But the arc with the convoy, like it's like 3 Scorpions and Warthogs, and there's like raids everywhere, and the Scarab comes down. Oh, there's nothing like that.
And then the control room, it's one Scarab, and the second one comes down. You're like, oh shit. Oh man, 3 was. I went back and played 3 a few months back.
3 is my favorite game of all time. Yeah, legitimately. Like you go back to that today, and it is still stunning. It still plays fantastically. Yeah, it's a timeless game.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, Cameron.
Yep.
What have you got for us?
Just to finish up on Halo 2, like the last thing I want to put.
Sorry, I've derailed this whole thing.
I mean, I can't get it out of my head.
You know it's a 2-hour show, Cameron.
Yeah, I know. I got to stretch it out. You know, it's fine. No, but the last thing I wanted to say is like when you said assault on the control room games like that. Even not Truth and Record. Which one is it in? What's the one on the beach again?
Silent Cartographer.
It is a Silent Cartographer. Like just doing that 5-minute speed run, going down and like just forcing my way through that door that's meant to be locked to make you go all the way around. Like moments like that, like that's what's really missing from Infinite for me. Like having 20 attempts of that, finally perfecting it, going yes. Like to me, like going back to the conversation about cheesing, like those kind of cheeses are so rewarding because I'm not typically a speedrunner, but if I have that level of commitment into that kind of game, it's just so satisfying to pull something like that off.
Well, that's Master Chief Collection through and through. That game turns you into a speedrunner if you want to finish it.
Yeah. Do you guys follow Mint Blitz online?
I do not.
He's a Halo creator. I'll link his stuff in the Discord later, but he is all about that. He's all about like, you know, stacking the fusion coils up and throwing a plasma grenade to blow up a Warthog and then grapple it so it slingshots him all the way across the map and then landing on an elite and punching him in the back or something like that. Like it's nice. His stuff is amazing.
Naked Eli back in the day, like his guides were just amazing, like absolute mint. But that's what Halo Infinite needs for me. Like it just needs some of the stuff that I've done over the last 7 years for Halo MCC. Just needs those components.
I've been treating it like Cyberpunk. I'll play it when it's done. Like that's kind of like I'm just like when it's fully
Cyberpunk's done. You haven't even played it now. What are you talking about?
I have played it. I've got it installed. I played a bit of it last night. It's fine. It's
no Elden Ring.
It's not definitely no Elden Ring. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Anyway,
so going into games that I've been playing, we've already talked about Halo 2, so I won't really say much about that. Man-Eater, I played and finished off the base game. I haven't bought the DLC yet. I'm just waiting for payday. Other than that, it's been pretty good in terms of like just playing a shark going around biting humans. It's just Chuck on a podcast. Actually, no, you know what it is? It's Chuck on the stream. Go over to twitch.tv/Shadowless Edge. The only person that's in the chat is Tazmad. Good for Ian of the show. It's like, all right, cool. He's just tuning every stream for Man-Eater. It's like, what else? A lot. What else do I need to stream? Just nothing. Just Man-Eater. But yeah, it's been really rewarding. I can't wait to play the DLC. Other than that, I really haven't been playing much. I reinstalled Golf with Your Friends the other night because Jerdman, who I watch on Twitch, decided, all right, I'm just going to do like a late Saturday night Golf with Your Friends. So I joined in their Discord, played that. One of his buddies decided, okay, you've got a really nice early lead. I'm just going to hit every single collision ball into you. And then the next like 2 hours in stream, it's just like hitting each other back and forth. Got enough out of bounds got enough out of bounds for like the achievement for that, but had an absolute blast, just having fun. The 2 games I do really want to talk about this week is I finished Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 in terms of story on stream. God, this is so much different than Part 1.
Right, it's 100% a different game. It's so weird because I played Part 2 and actually I thought it was decent. Like, I mean, it's Gears of War, Harry Potter edition, where it's like, you just fucking,
it's just mash.
Yeah, it's like it's like I've got
all I'm imagining is like Rhodey running as Harry Potter.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like down.
Frag out.
Blind fire just with a wand.
You literally can. You literally do.
It's great, and then at the same time, you can do it as Molly Weasley.
Yeah,
makes it so much better.
It is very yeah.
Can we get oh no, I'm blanking on the voice actor for Marcus. Can we get him doing
actually talking about the voice acting, you know what the weirdest thing about the game is? Every person's voice actor is replaced but Ron. Ron is still played by Rupert Grint, but everybody else is a different voice actor.
I didn't even know that. That's so funny.
And it's just like
I just want to hear like Harry saying, my tomatoes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just it's so strange, but like it's such a more enjoyable experience. Like the cutscenes are so much better, but like even talking about Part 1 a few weeks back, the cutscenes look worse than the gameplay for whatever reason. It's really strange. But it does do the whole licensed property thing of like, all right, we've got one line for the budget. What line are we going to use? Mm-hmm. Now, if you haven't watched Harry Potter yet, spoilers ahead. But Snape dies as well, yeah?
Mm-hmm. What?
So Snape dies in the Bow House, and the only line in the video game is, "You have your mother's eyes."
Yeah,
it's just great. And then just when there's a whole like Voldemort carrying Harry Potter's body back, and I'm blanking on his name, Neville Longbottom goes up and stands against him. It's just him raising a sword against him, and that's pretty much it. Just absolute.
Yeah, it's like it's
absolutely great.
I had a surprisingly enjoyable time. I was not expecting much when I played it years ago, but yeah, it was alright.
It's weird though because like both the combats of both games still, like it has a completely different combat system in terms of like double tapping Y to get a certain spell up, whereas in the other one's click wheel, and both are like really serviceable and work really well. But going from one game to the other is a bit jarring, so it's a bit. Like it's obvious that other team, like different teams,
totally different team made it. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like Part 2, such a better experience, and now I'm just interested going back to Order of the Phoenix, and when I finally can get my hands on a copy that's affordable, goddamn.
Good luck.
And then Half-Blood Prince, which I somehow have 2 copies of now. But.
How did you end up with 2 copies?
Because somebody...
Oh, that's right. They sent you the wrong one.
They sent me the wrong one. And then I had to take it because it was her brother's... deceased brother's game. And she'd already sent it. I felt bad, so I had to pay it.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, it was such a weird experience. But she's like, oh, my deceased brother like really enjoyed this game. I hope you have so many good like memories from it. I'm like, all right, this is going to be very weird. Anyway, the one game I do want to end up talking about, though, is A Memoir Blue.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
So, A Memoir Blue hit Game Pass on the 28th. They had, like, no marketing to announce it other than the initial announcement. It didn't show up on any of the coming soon slides that usually happen. It's just over a 1 hour experience, and, like, visually, it's amazing. The audio in it, I can't, like, I don't know how you feel about, like, listening to the soundtrack to Life is Strange the first time around.
I vaguely remember it.
Life is Strange had, like, a few, like, songs that really resonated with me, yeah?
Yeah.
True Colors had an amazing soundtrack that, like, once again, a few of the songs really resonated to me, to the point of, there's not many games that I'll go out of my way and go, like, I need to download this. Like, I need to make sure this ends up my Spotify library. because most of the time I just go to YouTube and look up a song by name, and that's how I do my songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Metal White Blue, I'm just like, no, game's over. Like after the stream, I need to. Like this music is amazing. It's a 1 hour experience, but it has done such a great job. Everything's like visually great. There's no voice acting in the game whatsoever, but everything is just told so beautifully through like action and movement and just like I can't really explain the storytelling other than the fact it's like about her finding her inner child.
I mean, it's a 1 hour game, right? There's not much point in explaining it because people should just go and play it. It's on Game Pass. I've been excited about it. I've got it downloaded. I just haven't had time. But
I'm so keen for this one. Like I get excited about games like under 4 hours. I'm like excited that I get to experience all of it in like in a weekend or in a day. So yeah, I'm keen for this. But yeah, Cameron, so you're saying this is a score, right? This is not a licensed soundtrack or for Metal Blue?
I don't know if it is. I feel like it's a mixture of both.
Oh, okay.
If you go
interesting.
Like there are some like I think there are some like licensed songs on there, but then just orchestra, like just the sound of the game, like all the way through was amazing. Like there's some songs in it, like on certain, I don't want to call them cutscenes, but like you know where you like get to like a place where you can do an action, like in the game, and then it just cuts to like a landscape, and then you've just got like this, like when going back to Life is Strange True Colors, but like when you're on the bridge, you can like exit out of that, or you can just sit there for like 3 minutes and take it all in. Like it's not
they're the vistas, yeah.
It's weird like when you're on a stream and like everybody's just like, this is a great song, just leave it, just stop playing for a minute. It's like, yeah, cool. The only
I can do that with Ori. Like I put Ori on and just like have Ori stand there and just listen
Ori's
to the music.
Great,
Yeah. Same with Celeste.
Only criticism, one criticism. Second achievement in the game is for pushing the ice out of the cup, which probably the trickiest achievement in the game. Not too bad. However, me and I want to say like 6 people watching me at that point were just like, all right, cool. How do we get past this? We're just using a guy that's going to tell us what the achievements are. We don't want any other spoilers. We're just going to go through and do it like this. It took us a good like 3 to 5 minutes to realize, all right, pull the ice down to the bottom of the cup and they'll dissolve.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Yeah, and that's how you get past that scene, because there's like actions in each scene that you need to do. It is a puzzle game,
right?
But it's so beautiful. The art style is amazing, and the sound is just like great. Like it's weird. Like I said the same thing about Little Misfortune, but like there's certain games out there like are very short experiences, but they tickle your fancy. Like you want them to be on your game of the year list.
Right.
Isn't it great that games like this are in Game Pass? Like the fact that
it's the perfect place for them, right?
Like, you know, was like 25 million subscribers now might have access to this and might play it. Because if you just launch this as an indie title on a store, and you need some people to buy it a la carte, and it's only an hour, and they've got to pay like $20-$30, and I'm not sure how many people you get through the door.
Yeah, and that's only considering people who even see it or hear about it, right? Like it being in Game Pass and getting publicity and being exactly like the marketing angle is just so helpful. Because like I wouldn't have even heard about this game unless it was in Game Pass. There's so much stuff that comes out that I'm just like, I don't even see.
I mean, you would have heard about it, but it would have been me nagging you.
Yeah, true. But I mean, again, we also host a gaming podcast. And we go through
we do.
Andy. So that's a little bit of a different scenario. But yeah, it's another Annapurna joint, so I'm on board straight away. So yeah.
I mean, there's certain publishers out there too where you can immediately go like, all right, it's Annapurna. It's going to be a banger.
It'll be an experience.
Somebody might hook up with somebody's relative, but
it's all relative.
What Annapurna game was that one?
Well, don't say
we can tell you after, but it's a spoiler.
Oh, okay. I might know the one you're talking about. I played Artful Escape was an Annapurna
Artful Escape was so good.
Love that. Love that. And again, 4-hour experience.
Yeah.
I like how Nikita completed that and then immediately went back, and like the discussion over dinner was like, so one of us needs to test this with a Guitar Hero controller, right? And she did. Really, like it works 100%.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I'm really excited for like more stuff like Artful Escape and
yeah, that's like Game Pass. Like that's what I want for Game Pass. As much as I
100%,
enjoy a good AAA game every now and then, and like I like an interest. I want those interesting shorter indie experiences that like I wouldn't have paid like you know the kind of stuff that I used to buy when it went on sale, but I'd wait for it to be at least 50% off before I'd even look at it.
Yeah,
and that'd be, you know, months to years later.
I mean, there's some stuff from like Aussie devs that me and Nikita see like and immediately just go, all right, we need to get like Untitled Goose Game on the Switch now.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah. I did that with Phantom Abyss on Steam and Webbed as well. Bought those directly. But yeah, the fact that Unpacking found so much success that way as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else, Cameron?
No. So I'm on 9,863 for the week. Actually,
I was going to say most of that was yesterday.
Yeah, most of that was yesterday.
Well, this
I must admit. There was quickly one that I wanted to talk. Actually, I'll quickly touch base on 2 more games that are 1 hour. Drunken Fist is such a experience. It is essentially you playing like a drunk character. Like it is an East Asia software game. You're going around fighting with people.
It's a 1 hour game.
Just trying to keep up. Like it's just fun. Just, you know, bar fight kind of situation. There was another game I came across today called Clumsy Rush.
Oh, yes.
Have either of you heard of Clumsy Rush?
Yes, I have. I haven't played it. It's in my list.
It is essentially Fall Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And it is, like, I love the art style to it. I never had heard of it before installing it yesterday. It's a 1 hour completion, but it's just left me like going like, when's Fall Guys coming to Xbox? Like I need to play it. I don't care if it has a win 5 games in a row achievement. I really want to play it.
Ooh,
I think they said later this year, right?
Yeah, they were kind of nondescript around it. So, but this year, see, like again, if it doesn't come out this year, they might as well not release it because it'll be dead by then. I don't think it'll. I think that the time is. I think the time is already passed for Fall Guys. I haven't sort of seen anyone talking about it now. People even, you know, again, Among Us has gone too, and it's like I still hear more about Among Us than that.
And the last thing too, because I just want to shoehorn it in quickly before I forget, is the Stanley Parable comes out this month.
Yeah, I'm hoping that gets into Game Pass pretty quickly because that's.
I'm hoping there's some stuff. You know, it was what, April 27th.
Yeah. So
I'm really hoping that's just a day one.
I think it would make sense for it to be a day one, but I don't know if it will be. But yeah. It'll be in Game Pass sooner rather than later. Though it's the kind of game that's a perfect fit for the.
If it has that 5-year achievement, good luck trying to get it complete before it leaves.
Okay. That's fair. That's a really good one. All right.
Anyway,
well, let's get into the leaderboard. Who have we got this week? It's it's you, Cameron.
Yay!
Oh,
what? Okay, everybody's hit their 1 mil and they're slowing down there. What the hell?
Yeah, people are taking time off. So you've hit 9,863 for this week. In second place, we've got Kruger at 7,660.
Which, in all fairness, he has hit his 1 mil.
He has, yep. And I'm sitting at 7,595 in third place.
Very nice.
That's the first time we've been in the top 3 for a very long time.
Yeah, we run the show.
We run the show.
We should put out a quick reminder too. If you do want to join the Hall of Gamers leaderboard, there is a link in the Discord, I believe, and there is also a leaderboard on TA.
Yeah, so just let us know, and we'll
just hit me up. I'll send you a link. It's easy.
Yeah, I think we've got like 50 people in there.
50 people.
If you need someone to come last on a monthly basis, I'll sign up.
We got a few zeros in there, you know.
Oh really? Oh, there you go. I'll be tied last. Great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kiku.
I mean, there is. Yeah, he had COVID though. That's a different story.
That's fair.
I mean, I do have the Hogpot account in there that does all our tracking, which is a beautiful segue. I also have a bot in Discord that, if you add on TA, will tell you whether you've what games you've started and completed, and share it with the rest of the community. So we can keep on Matt's back about getting Elden Ring done.
I got it done. I got it done.
I mean, like, you know, Chapters got it done first, didn't he?
Chapters did get it done first. That is true.
Taking all your glory.
Yeah, this is true.
I just want to quickly also point out, Charlotte, that command does not work there. That's on my personal Twitch channel, which I'll talk about later.
Cool. All right, well let's go into we got a question this week from our good buddy Isaac, and thankfully Cameron saw it in the email inbox because I never check it. But he says, "Hey guys, I bought many games over the years because my friends said they wanted to play together, and just to have them give up on the game after a short time or complete it when I'm unavailable or stop playing it. Do you have any games that you've started because someone said they wanted to play with you, only to have them finish it without you or just move on without the completion? Thanks for taking my question." You're very welcome, Isaac. Thank you for sending them in. We very much appreciate it. Oh my God, where do I start on this one? Actually, Cameron already.
You know what? We're gonna say each other, but it's gonna be just as.
No, that's not true. We usually catch back up on it. Sometimes it takes a while, but we're usually pretty good about finishing us.
I'll take you back 2 years ago, when me, Kirby, Brad, and Matt were playing
Strange Brigade. Mm-hmm.
Now, I think one person has the completion for that, Matt, and
I do have the completion for that game because it's easier to do solo without. Okay, to be fair,
you were just slowing him down, Cam.
You actually were. All three of you were just fucking just like waiting on the damn ankles.
The first problem was Kirby had life commitments, which is completely understandable at that point in time. Yeah.
Yes.
And then he completely ditched us.
And we didn't want to do it without Kirby because we would have ended up just redoing it when he came back. That was the rationale.
Yeah.
But then it turned into like a year. And in which case I was like, well, you know what? Let's just run through it. And so I think we tried a few times and got completely smashed by some of the later levels.
Yeah.
And eventually I was reading the guide and they were just like, yeah, the game scales. So just do it on easy. I was like, oh, okay. Or so just do it by yourself. And I just like ran through it by myself. Still struggled. But anyway, that game is shit.
Yeah.
That game is bad. So like, I don't feel bad about that at all. And plus, you don't complete games anyway, so what are you complaining about?
Okay, another example. But in all fairness, you didn't ditch me in this. We kind of ditched Brad.
Oh, we talk about Remnant?
Yeah, we're talking about Remnant.
Yeah, Remnant, the game that we were playing before that. Yeah, Remnant. Yeah, okay.
The game that is specifically for 3 players that you play together. And then, I don't know what Brad was doing at that time, but we were just like, no, DLC's coming out, buddy. You gotta be quick.
Well, to be fair, we did do a lot of the DLC with him. We did all that fashion stuff. I remember we did the roguelite stuff. Yeah, because we were complaining about it the whole time.
I remember you getting really frustrated with the Queen.
Yes.
You don't often get really pissed off with games.
No, I do not. I usually have a bit of self-control. But
the Queen one was very interesting. And then the DLC was pretty doable, but yeah, Brad just didn't make the cut apparently.
I mean, look, people have other stuff going on. Like, I don't want to jump down people's throats being like, fuck you, how did you abandon us to play this game? I will, however, say my ex, Kitty, who got me into Neverwinter, can burn in hell for all eternity. Because Neverwinter is the game that just will... I will never be free of that game. Literally never. I will never complete that game. I am so close. I have like 4 achievements left in that game, and I don't think I'll ever get them. But... yeah, that's one of those games that I was just like, yeah, pretty girl told me she wanted to play it with me. What was I going to do, right?
Is this the part where I remind you that Allison's watching?
That's fine. She can watch. She knows the story. I'm not going to tell the whole story anyway.
I just don't want to be watching your face right now get sucker punched from the right. Like,
it's fine. It's
like
fine.
that.
I won't go into it, but I hate that. Okay. The game itself is okay. But it's like, the amount of commitment involved to get those achievements is beyond ridiculous.
It needs to do the Warframe model and just get to the point where it just stops getting updates, and like it keeps on getting updates, but all the achievement updates end in 2019 for whatever reason.
Yeah, that'd be great if they stopped doing achievements. But at least I could be happy with that.
He will tell his story at our fucking wedding. I won't go into it. Quotation marks.
I'm not going into it. I'm not going into it. I'm not. It's a long.
I'm loosely addressing the situation, Allison. It's context.
They asked the question. Yes, that's true. But I know. But your one is going to be Aftos, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. For somebody that you help for a year complete Halo MCC, get to like 85%, and he goes like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Like, you kind of helped. And then does Halo Wars 2 fucking without me.
That's the reason why Cameron and I playing Halo Wars 2 together is because I was the second option, basically.
I mean, like, you've been busy for a while.
I have been busy, to be fair. Yes, I have had a lot on.
And then it's funny because whenever I hit you up, it's just like, oh, I'm playing Magic with Charlotte. I'm playing Saints Row with Charlotte. It's like, all right, cool. I'm just the the third podcaster here that just never gets involved to anything. It's fine.
I don't play multiplayer if I can avoid it. You know.
Yeah,
me.
I know. The other one I was going to say was Alexo with Gen Zero, and it's more so a case of me feeling bad because I want to do it, but then it's like, okay, why did I just commit myself to stream 4 nights a week? Yeah, change the schedule, and then he's like, oh, we're going to do it next week, right? I'm like, publisher, he like hit me up for like an interview at 8 o'clock at night. I mean, it doesn't usually happen, but like, I need a job.
At the end of the day, life comes first and video games second. But yeah, but I know, Shane, if you got any good experiences of any good experiences,
games that you started because someone said they wanted to play with you and then haven't finished it. Yeah, I don't think so. I think I have. There have been a couple of cases where I'll like intend to start a game with friends, and then I'm the one who's like, just life gets in the way. It happened with, I think, Destiny 2 as well. I was like, okay, I'm getting in on the ground floor with everyone because I know that if I don't, then if I go to play in a week or two after launch, then I'm immediately going to feel as though I'm behind everyone and I'm lost and I don't know everything and everyone else around me knows what they're doing. And I hate that feeling.
Stuff like Destiny 2, though, you're essentially signing a contract to give like
a
third of your life away for like the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. There have been the case where like we intend to play a game together. Like just the other week, me and a couple of friends bought Risk of Rain 2. We're like, okay, we're playing this weekend, and then it just never happens. So we haven't touched that yet. But more often than not, like it's just like I try and get friends in, they get like a bit bored. Like I've like tried to rope so many people into State of Decay 2, and I'm kind of over it now. Like I'm just waiting for State of Decay 3. But yeah,
do it all over again.
Yeah. But no, thankfully that it doesn't happen to me too much.
I was gonna say Risk of Rain 2 is like a perfect game to play with strangers. I can, not strangers, like good friends. I can think of like, I can understand where Aftos is coming from now because I can still remember like from 2 years ago me going like yeeting off the side of a ledge and stealing the chest because loot sharing is not enabled in that game.
Yeah, it's a good way to make enemies. Yeah,
like just coming down a mountain like full speed and going like yoink, this is mine now.
It was very funny because I was in the party while you guys did that, and I just heard him just losing his absolute shit.
He lost his mind, but he's like, you know what? Gotta give it to you.
Just ninja.
I gotta say too, Allison did put something before Shane just said. I didn't realize I was in a poly relationship, Matt, me, and the ghost of Kitty in the former Netherwinter.
I mean, to be fair, Neverwinter was around before you were, so I'm just saying,
So what I'm hearing there is it's Allison's fault that she didn't come into your life sooner.
That's definitely it. Yeah.
And this is going to cause no relationship issues.
She also added that she started. I let her start Angry Birds on my tag on the Windows Phone because she was like, "Oh yeah, I love Angry Birds. I'll play that." And she did like 5 levels, and I had to do the other 150 before the Windows Phone died. And that is one of my most hated games of all time. That experience was absolutely crippling, and I nearly snapped the phone so many times.
Allison, TA, Neomaster, search window friends games, not started, not completed, and just go a little bit of a.
Don't you dare! No, that's not. No one's starting anything on my tag. I'm very selective with this, but it's. I mean, like realistically, I don't usually get upset with like. Most of the time, if you complete a game, you can complete a game. But like, there've always been scenarios like Syndicate was one of those ones where it had that co-op mode, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh yeah, we'll do the co-op mode," and like they all got the achievement, and I got like 2/3 of the way there, and then they quit. And I was like, "Oh shit!" So then it took me like 10 years. It took me like almost like 10 years to get a group together to finally get those last few achievements because no one plays it.
Division, Last Stand, stuff like that. Like it's
exactly.
You don't want things that are like planned around getting 10 people together.
Yeah, that's always
like my friends usually like my typical friends are going out having normal lives. Like it's not like I'm gonna hit them up like, "Hey, play this game for me for like 7 years ago, just so I can get the achievements."
All right. Well, we should probably start wrapping up the show so I can start finalizing my divorce. Completion shoutouts. We've got our Hacker Pwn has finished 200 games completed. Jeez, mate, good job. Tiki Towers, A Bullet Asylum, which again was one of those ones on Windows Phone that I didn't think I'd get done, and Gerbil Physics Plus, a bunch of other Windows Phone games he's been working on. Sigma Blast finished up Blood Bowl 2 and Warhammer 40k Space Marine, which is a great game, and it's getting a sequel, and I'm very excited about it. Happy Moogles finished up Far Cry 2. Mark B finished up Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. Red finished up the Saw series. Kruger finished up 12 Minutes and a Memoir Blue. Both some great Annapurna games.
Yep.
Keo finished up Minecraft Dungeons and Rainbow Six Siege. Chapter finished up Tiny Tina Wonderland, which is bloody quick. And Rapture managed to finish up Narita Boy in the last possible moment before it got removed. And a bunch of other baby games, as usual.
I gotta say, too, I'm very tempted to put Hack and Pone second last on the bottom of the list just to go Windows phone games every single week.
Well,
He's gone nuts with it.
That'll come to an end pretty quickly, though, I think.
Yeah.
Considering how that's not much longer to go. We've also got the Hog Word Challenge, as always, where basically I pick a game and I put a GIF into our bot, and if you guess the title of the game in the Word Challenge channel on our Discord, you win $20. Simple as that. Every week I give a clue. The previous clues are: it is a 360 game. It has been played by Shadowless Edge, Cameron on his tag. And the new clue is it is a digital-only game, which should narrow it down significantly. So, yep, that's all you're getting.
What channel is this? I'll never go at this.
Yeah, so...
Word Challenge in our Discord.
Yeah, and our Discord is Word Challenge. You can put in a game. It has to be the exact title because it's an exact match on the bot. So, I mean, if you get the spelling slightly off or whatever, I'll just put it in manually and you win the $20. I'm not that much of a stickler. It just means it won't do it automatically. But,
I think I know what it is now.
well, yeah, Cameron, don't you fucking guess because you ruined it last time. Yeah, so I'm the only one who knows it. Cameron, Charlotte, no one else knows what it is.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this. It doesn't count as a hint because I don't know it.
No, okay. You
but
can say whatever you like.
It's a game that is very close to my heart.
And so Cameron last week posted a picture of his physical collection, which is why I was laughing because it was a digital game and it wasn't in that collection at all.
You weren't in the party yesterday when I stacked everything behind me and everything toppled over and hit me.
That's actually even funnier. That's great. That's you deserve that.
And Charlotte was like, "What was that?" And the kitty came in the room, just like, "So you made a mess."
Yeah, you've Jenga towered your Xbox games.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can go to the Discord, discord.io/HallofGamers is the place to come hang out with us. You can chat with us. We've got the Word Challenge in there as well. You can guess once per hour. Best thing to do is usually just to go on True Achievements and copy the exact title of the game and just paste it in there. If you're looking for a tip, just so you make sure you got it right. But I'm eager to see what people get. A lot of really good guesses in there. Nothing super close yet, but some good guesses for sure.
I'm going to be really offended if it's the game I'm thinking of and nobody gets it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because there's so many... If it is the one I'm thinking of, there's so many clues already.
Chances are it probably isn't, because Cameron also has no fucking idea. And like I said at the top of the show, you can join us on Twitch as well. All the Gamers Pod is the Twitch name. Come see us do the show live. We've also got our Patrons, Cameron.
Yep. Do we want to go through the draw first or the Patreon list?
Do the Patreon list first.
All right, cool. So we have... Sorry, I just got to go over the link. We have Firehawk, Mad Lefty, G Spaceman, Admiral Awesome, Odrin, Keo, Copper Todd, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Hawkeye Barry, Hack and Pone, Cavalier 07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and McLovin Legend. Thank you all. We wouldn't be able to run the show without you. Also, thank you to Admiral and Firehawk for going up to the highest tier, which will be my guinea pigs for this new merch line. Very good.
We're very excited to see how those turn out. We don't have physical ones yet, so I'm
still waiting for my shipment. But that achievement unlocked one, I reckon seeing that in person is going to be like really sick.
Yeah, it'll be great. And yes, we're also going to draw the competition winner for March.
Yep.
What game are they winning, Cameron?
So I believe if it hasn't changed, it was Conan Chop Shop with 4 votes. And the winner was drum roll. I need to insert a drum roll button. Yeah, that's much better. Cool. Yep. It's Keo.
Keo, congratulations, mate.
Which is fine because I'll probably buy a Conan Chop Chop myself and play it with him.
Yeah, there you go. So get in touch with Cameron. Not that you don't on a daily basis already, and we'll sort that out for you. And also,
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want me to do April announcements?
Yes.
Cool. In terms of games that are coming, that have just released that I've added in for April, we have choices between Katie and Meow Meow Land, which is apparently a cat version in Alice in Wonderland, which I wanna check out myself. Ikai, which is like a Japanese horror game. Curious Expedition 2, and a musical story. Musical story looks really interesting, so I'm hoping a few people will read for that. I need to check out a review for it. But I know it's won a few awards, so...
Yeah, so if you're one of our patrons, existing, or if you're going to be a new patron, you can go in and vote, and whatever gets the most votes, whoever wins the draw will get that game. So go and make your voice heard. We are, again, like Cameron said, we really appreciate it. We could not do the show without you. It helps pay for licensing, for for Zoom, for our equipment, for hosting, all that kind of stuff that, we just so we can keep the lights on. But we don't really make any money on the show. It's basically just breaking even at this point. So
it's either like we break even and I just pay whatever I get into like giving out prizes, or it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, we do the show for you guys, so we do appreciate it when you guys get back.
Yeah.
We also have another show called Lights, Camera, and Action, where we subject Cameron to watching video game movies and then we review them. And this last one, oh my god, Resident Evil Apocalypse is just holy crap, that's a rough movie. We just finished recording the second part. I'm editing it at the moment. I'm going to try and hope to get it out this weekend, depending on how things go. So it'll either be this weekend or early next week.
Shane, have you watched the Resident Evil movies?
No, I have zero desire.
Good. Yeah, it's probably best to keep it that way. We also rank them, basically all the ones we've watched. I'm just going to come out and say it, that this ranked right at the bottom. This is literally the worst of all the movies we've watched. But yeah, if you're interested in hearing us, Cameron, Charlotte, and myself go over video game movies, you can check us out on the Patreon. If you go on our Patreon, the first 4 episodes are free. You can go check them out and get an idea. They have improved since then, I'll tell you that. Those are much, much older episodes. But those are available to any tier. So again, you don't have to shell out heaps for it. And if you ask nicely, I might send you one of the old episodes so you can get a better idea of what it's like. Just because, again, it's never about making money on this. It's really just about being able to keep doing the show.
Having fun, except in the case watching Resident Evil.
Fun, yes, because they get to have fun listening to us be subjected to this.
What we say the new one was? Far Cry?
Well, we're gonna do we do Blood Rain.
Blood Rain, okay, yeah.
But we might end up doing Sonic.
Yeah, which is fine. Like Sonic. Apparently, Sonic's not getting great reviews, which I think is crazy because.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I haven't watched the first one. I was going to ask you guys, what's the verdict? Is it
like it's really fun? Like
so, yeah, we did the first one for a few months back, and we thought it was pretty good. It's not like it's not War and Peace or Citizen Kane by any means, but like it's I think it's like the third or fourth on our rankings.
Have you ever watched Hop? The Easter Bunny.
The hit 2011 film starring James Marsden? I have not.
Yes.
No. I was gonna say what? I'm like, whenever Cameron brings this up, I'm like, literally no one has ever heard of this film. What are you talking about?
I had younger siblings. You seem to forget this. That is like my younger sister's only turning 16 now. So like, this is fine. Like I watched this with my younger siblings, but yeah, James Marsden with some kind of animated sidekick. But the whole thing with Sonic is basically adolescence.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. It's
good movie.
Like, it was like our third highest rated movie out of like 12. So it's pretty good. Anyway, we're rabbiting on a bit here, so let's wrap it up. If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us at hallofgamerspodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Twitter @hallofgamerspod. Otherwise, if you want to help out in other ways, subscribe to us on your platform of choice, leave us a review, tell your friends. Word of mouth is always the biggest thing for us. Charlotte now tells everyone with a sound alert that she's on a podcast, which is good. I appreciate that.
Oh, that is such I'm so stealing that idea.
It's very funny. Yeah. I was helping her edit them and it was great.
Quickly want to shout out to for Neon Mirror, which is your co-host for the Movie Magic Show.
The Movie Magic Show. That's it. Every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on my Twitch channel, Magic_Cast. We review films every Wednesday.
Always great to tune in. Very, very high quality podcast.
Thanks.
I like it. It's one of the ones I need to listen to every week.
Checks in the mail, Cam.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly right. So you can just skip all that Patreon cut, you know.
And Rockwood and JC Tazzy, thank you for following. We hope you enjoy your stay in our community.
Thank you very much. And of course, obviously, if you have questions, the best place to do it is chuck it in our Discord. We've got a questions channel, which is where we can all see it. And it's good because we get a bit of reaction from the community and a bit of weigh-in, which is nice. As for our personal stuff, if you want to find me, I'm on Neomaster on pretty much everything, Xbox, True Achievements, and Discord. Cameron, what about you? You want to do some shelling?
Yeah, if you want to catch me anywhere, I'm essentially Shadowless Edge on TA, Twitter, Twitch with the underscore at the very end. I'm streaming 4-ish nights a week now, at least. Just trying to grow over there and play as many games as I do, and also just show off the games that are coming to Game Pass, because you know me, I like to start everything on my tag.
Yeah, yes you do, which is just, again, drives me bananas. And if you want to, I should probably shout out Charlotte since she's not here to shout us out. You can find her on Twitch at Charmandosaurus Rex. So yeah, go say hi. Check her out her streams. I'm not sure when she's streaming next. She's sick at the moment, so she'll bring out a new schedule when she's feeling better. But she does great work over there. She was doing Kraken Academy, which is fucking hilarious.
That is such a weird game.
I'm so excited to try it.
It
looks so cool.
It's so strange. And then Shane, yeah, is there anything else you want to share? You got Magic Cast or anything you want to?
Yeah, Twitter, Magic_cast, as you see on the screen. Not cats, unfortunately, though we will try and change it now. Magic_cast on Twitch as well. Thanks for the shout out, Charlotte. Yeah, I've got the weekly movie review show every Wednesday. I have a YouTube channel as well, so you can catch all our past episodes there. It's just Magic Cast, it's all one word, on YouTube. And I have really slowed down on the video game commentary videos that I've been doing. I love doing it. I can never find the time. So usually I would have done a video on the Game Pass family membership or comparing it to PlayStation Plus, that sort of thing. Hopefully I'll pick that up again one day. And yeah, for everything Game on Cancer, it's gameoncancer.com.au. Our next fundraising campaign will kick off April 28th. And it'll run for 2 weeks. It's called Superhero Streamers, and would love it if you would sign up and fundraise. If you're unable to, donate, and if you're unable to donate, just share it around. Our Game on Cancer social channels are GameOn_Cancer as well. It's relatively new channels, so yeah, having people follow that really means a lot as well.
Even with that too, just reach out to either myself and Shane, and just any streamers that you watch that might be interested in partaking.
100%.
Fantastic. All right, well, that's going to bring us to the end of episode 33 of the Hall of Gamers podcast. Thank you, our community, for joining us, and thank you, Shane, for guesting.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me back. I had a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we'll catch you guys next week. See you later.
Bye.